Rise and grind, ladies and gentlemen. It's about to get bumpy. Time to attack and dominate. This is Morning Juice with Brandon Beam and Bobby Carpenter.
And here we go on a Monday, attacking and dominating our way to 9 a.m. every single weekday morning right here on The Fan. Brandon Beam, the General Bobby Carpenter, and of course our fearless leader and producer Mark the Shark. Bob, we've made it here. Monday of Buckeye game week, and the crew hoists yet another trophy. What a fantastic world that we're living in. What's going on, man? Good to talk to you.
Oh, yeah, good till the last drop. Beam was nice and hot last night in Columbus, but heat was not a problem for the crew.
No, it wasn't.
Able to get it done in a big way. So that's exciting. You have a good weekend, sir?
It was good. Yeah, it was good, man. It was really fun. Friday after the show, bolted, went down to Dayton. So that was pretty solid. Hung out with some friends and family on Friday night. And then on Saturday, my stepmom's mom turned 90. So we had like a big birthday party for her. It was good. My stepmom's nephew, my cousin, flew in from California. He's living out there. So surprised his grandma, which was pretty awesome. So did that on Saturday, and then went to a little cookout of my family's own on Saturday evening. Played some cards with my grandma, Bob. It was great. She hadn't played euchre in a little bit, so she was asking me. She's like, "Hey, how the rules?" I'm trying to remember the rules here. I'm like, "Well, remember, Jack is the big boy. You know, like if it's clubs, you know, Jack of clubs the big boy. Jack of spades would be the second big boy, and then you go from there." She's like, "Okay, yeah. Usually I play six-handed euchre, so then the joker would be it, but there's no joker in this." So she was trying to figure it out, you know, trying to navigate how to remember to play euchre. And then the score. I've
never heard of six-handed euchre.
Yeah, she plays cards like all the time, and they have all these different.
In Meredith's Mahjong game?
She probably, yeah, I think she's the OG. She's the originator of it. And score was tied 3-3. She goes, "Stay at home, partner. You're good. Lay down, loner." So it's 7-3. Very next hand, "Stay at home, partner. You're good. Another lay down,
Who's dealing
loner."
these cards?
Yeah, well, one I dealt, and then the next one my mom dealt, and so she back-to-back lay downs. And I was like, "Ma'ams, you know, I think you're probably good. I think you probably remember the rules just fine." So that's what I did on Saturday. We got back to Columbus yesterday. Had a fantastic little day at home, and then settled in to watch a crew get another trophy added to their trophy cabinet last night. So all in all, a fantastic weekend, man. How about you?
Yeah, find out where that banner's going to be hung, B. Well, good little Friday night. Went over and watched some Upper Arlington and Glenville play a little bit. The barn burner beam was 0-0 till deep into the game.
Good.
And then Glenville had a big punt return, and I believe the final score was 6-3. Ended up ducking out before the end. Hung out a little bit. Saturday did some pool stuff. Hung out. What did we have in the morning? Maybe some games and different things. I don't know. Saturday was a blur. And next thing I know, you know, we're hanging out at the pool, relaxing a little bit. It's nice and hot all day, obviously, Beam, as you all know.
Yep.
And then hung out that night, watched, what did we watch outside? Watched a couple of movies outside. Gosh, dog it, what was the first one? I can't remember. One that we hadn't seen. And then the second movie that we watched was 10 Things I Hate About You that came on.
Nice.
It was just like in the algorithm, popped up, and it was
Autoplay.
like 10:30, and my neighbor and my son were like, everybody else had fallen asleep, and they're like, "All right, we're going to bed." And we said, "There's like, I love this movie." I go, "So do I." And so we watched it, and it was over like 12:15. Then went to bed, woke up, and we had a nice robust day, if you will, full of flag football at 11, tackle at 12, another soccer game at 5. So just running around, and Courtney was with McLean out in Hilliard all day at a lacrosse tournament. So there was a lot obviously going on, and it was a fun day, hot day though, very sweaty. But got a lot done, so feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, Sharky's going to get his August weather this week, Shark. Mid-90s all week, feels like 100. You're going to be loving it. It's going to be great. We got an awesome show lined up for you here this morning. Talk about the crew and their another addition to the trophy cabinet coming up here in our next segment. College football's back. Week 0 was terrific.
Oh, yeah. Watch some of that Georgia. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Saturday afternoon, I watched that Georgia Tech, Florida State game.
Yeah, it was terrific. So we'll check in with Bill Bender, the Sporting News, talk all things college football as we recap Week 0 with him, get ready for week number 1. 7 o'clock hour, we'll do some Ohio State over-unders for the upcoming season. 7:35, Spencer Holbrook of Lettermen Row. He's going to join the program. We'll talk some Buckeyes. Then, of course, course, 8:35, Joshua Perry, he rounds out the program with us, as he does every single Monday, coming up here in just a little bit, a few hours away from right now. Before we get into anything else today, it is Monday, the 26th day of August, 2024, time for Today in History.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
Sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP.
All right, Bob, Monday, buddy. What you got lined up for us today?
Oh, boy, Beam. It is Monday, August 26th, 239th day of the year, 127 days remaining in this 2024, if you will. Some news today. This date, 1498. Michelangelo is commissioned to carve the Pieta, which is housed at St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City.
All right.
So, yeah, some work there for the big guy getting that done. Apologize for that, Beam. And this date, 1791. John Fitch is granted the patent for the steamboat.
All right.
Yeah, get a little steamboat going.
Good.
Up and down the river system and lake system in the United States. 1920, 20th Amendment goes into effect, giving women the right to vote. 1972, the 20th Olympiad opens in Munich, Germany. 1990, Bo Jackson hits his fourth of four consecutive home runs.
This pitch is belted to deep center field, and Cano looks up. Welcome back, Bo Jackson. That ball is lit in the upper tier of the fountain in deep left center field. He got a high fastball and hit it a mile. Wow! It looked like one of my drives that drops about 10 yards short of the green into a pond. Mercy! That ball hit about 460, 70 feet.
That's all deep play.
Who was on the call there, Shark? You know?
It would be the Royals broadcasters. I don't know who they were. What was interesting about that, Bob, was on July 17th of 1990, he hit 3 homers against the Yankees.
You went on IR?
Then he dove for a ball in the outfield, injured his shoulder, went on IR for 5 weeks, 6 weeks, came back on the 26th, and his first at-bat was against Randy Johnson.
Oh, wow.
Coming off the then disabled list. And that's how he got 4 in a row. It was 4 in a row over a span of almost 6 weeks.
It's like the Tiger Slam.
Kind of like the Tiger Slam.
I mean, there's nobody. That's got to be the record, correct?
4 consecutive?
Yes.
No, I think Bo was the 19th guy to do it.
Wow.
Is there someone that has 5?
No.
The 4 is tied for the record.
4 ties the record.
Yes.
And he didn't do it 4 in one game,
Yeah.
which has been done also. But, yeah.
We get 4 consecutive. That's usually going to be.
consecutive.
Usually it's going to be over 1 game or 2 games in a back-to-back or 3-day span. This was done over 5 weeks, which I could argue may even be more impressive, Shark, since he hadn't been to the plate.
To do it coming off the disabled list, yeah.
Pretty darn
Who
impressive.
has the?
Against Randy Johnson.
Do you know who has the record for most consecutive games with a home run?
Was that Mattingly? Don
Mattingly has it.
8.
And then Dale Long for the Pirates also has it. And then the latest one to do it was 31 years ago.
Jimmy Tomey.
Ken Griffey Jr. with the Mariners.
There we go.
8 in a row, yeah.
Is that 98?
93.
93, a long time back. This day, 2018. 3 are killed and 11 are wounded after a shooting in Jacksonville, Florida at a Madden NFL 19 tournament. So, rough day there in American history. Some birthdays today. Mother Teresa, born in this date, 1910. A little positive note for you, Beam. Lost her, my goodness, it has been quite a while, back in 1997. Don LaFontaine was born in this date, 1940. He is the voiceover guy that you would always hear, Beam, in a world.
This is from Terminator 2.
Yes.
And then he follows that, or I followed it up with him talking about how he got that great voice.
Once, he was programmed to destroy the future. Now, his mission is to protect it. His loyalty is to a child, and his enemy is the deadliest machine ever built. This time, there are 2. Terminator 2. If you thought you had seen it all, look again. Arnold Schwarzenegger. Terminator 2, Judgment Day. This time, he's back. For good.
When I was 13 years old, my voice changed in the middle of a sentence. Mom, I'll help you with the dishes. Literally. And it never went back. And I was this cut up in class. And when I went to school the next day, I didn't want to talk. And the teacher got bugged about it. She said, why aren't you saying something? And I said, what do you want me to say? And I was sent to the office because she thought I was screwing with her. And for a while there, it really upset me. But then I discovered that I can be everybody's dad. Jimmy can't come to school today because he's not feeling very well.
That is amazing.
That's unbelievable.
All I could think about was Tropic Thunder and Ben's.
Scorcher 8 coming to theaters.
It was so good.
The earth is frozen over.
It's sad as he passed away, Shark, back in 2008. He did not live very long. Maybe that deep voice held him back. I'm not sure. He hadn't been held back. Mark Mangino turning 68 today. The svelte man himself.
That picture of him
Tim
coaching for Kansas next to the orange in the Orange Bowl, like the orange mascot, is remarkable.
Oh, it's a side-by-side.
It is.
Mark Mangino, Tim Hall's guy.
Yeah.
Big Kansas Jayhawk coach. Stan Van Gundy, former Magic's coach as well. ESPN, New Orleans, recently coached the Pelicans last in the NBA. Melissa McCartney, turning at 54 today. Here's her from Bridesmaids.
Protect and serve, Air Marshal style.
What?
I don't want to infringe on your privacy, man. I just, I really appreciate what you do for this country.
That's great. I'm not an air marshal. I'm going to take a nap.
Awesome.
Cool.
I'll take the first watch.
I'm not an air marshal. You don't need to take a watch.
I gotta know where you keep the gun, man. Ankle, hip, lower back. You don't between the cheeks, do you?
No, I don't stick a gun up my butt. I mean, that's
I didn't
stupid.
say up. Hey, not Air Marshal John. You want to get back in that restroom and not rest?
No. I gotta get back in my seat. Could you just move your leg, please? I gotta go.
You feel that steam heat coming? That's from my undercarriage.
Okay.
That's good.
Turns out he was an air marshal.
Was he?
Yes, it turns out that's her husband in real life.
Is it? Okay.
Are they really married?
Yeah.
That's remarkable. Cleveland Brown great Jamal Lewis turns 45 today, Shark.
Where's he ranking the
I
Pantheon
love
of
watching
Browns?
Shark laugh when I can just throw.
Yeah, that's like saying Boston Brave great Babe Ruth.
Oh, Cleveland Cav great Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
Sean Kemp.
I was like, you know what? Even though he rushed for an NFL record at the time, like 290 yards against the Browns, went to play for him a couple years later. Chris Pine turning 44, the Captain Kirk in the new Star Trek reboot series. David, oh God, why can I not? My writing is getting so bad, Beam. David Price, my goodness, turning 39 today, 5-time All-Star, Cy Young Award winner, 2012 Hall of Famer, Shark.
No. Nope. Not a chance.
All very good.
All very good.
Yeah, he was okay.
And James
Short
Harden.
run.
James Harden turning 35 today as well. Some passing. Charles Lindbergh passing away in 1974. Lauren Branigan passing away in 2004.
Oh, I'd like to play that.
You'd love to hear some Gloria today. And lost Bob Barker in 2024. I just don't want a piece of you, Happy. I want the whole thing.
Did he make 100?
Bob Barker?
Yeah.
That is a really good question, Shark. I do not. He died in 93.
He was 4 months short.
Yeah. 'Cause Drew Carey's been doing The Price is Right for like 16 or 17 years. Something crazy.
He December 12th, passed away August 26, 2023, 99.
Oh, man.
Yep.
Make sure you have your pet spayed and neutered, Shark. Some holidays observances. It's Congressional Startup Day, Make Your Own Luck Day, Motorist Considerations Day, Musical Yoga Day, National Cherry Popsicle Day, National Dog Day, National Toilet Paper Day as well. And those are your historical events, your birthdays, your passings, your holidays observances. For this date, August 26th, the 239th day of the year, and a mere 127 days remaining in this 2024.
Good job with that, Bob. As always, the Columbus Crew are going to have to start adding some shelves to their trophy case. We'll get into that coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan Traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Right now, no crashes to tell you about. We are watching busy traffic on 670 near John Glenn Columbus International. Also on I-71 as you make your way in from Polaris. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your Fan Traffic.
Fan Traffic is sponsored by Green & Sons. Family owned and operated for over 45 years. Green & Sons will help you find your next Kubota tractor. Located in Mount Sterling and north of Marysville. And online at greenandsons.com.
Erectile dysfunction is a destroyer of your confidence, of your joy and intimacy, and often it can even harm your relationship. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, the leading men's sexual health practice in our area for treating erectile dysfunction. And I want you to know today that if you're like most men, you can be free of ED and all the impacts it has on your life. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're your local provider for dealing with men's sexual health issues. Our expert medical teams are focused on treating ED, and we have highly effective treatment plans with some protocols that work in well over 90% of cases. We can even combine treatments for greater efficacy, all of which means it's very likely you'll be having great sex again within just a day or two of your first appointment. You might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 2 convenient locations, just off 270 in Hilliard and near the Medical Mile in Westerville.
At Take 5, we're faster than you think. That means we'll change your oil and have you back on the road faster than it takes for your half-calf heavy cream mocha latte to get cold. Just sit back and relax while our fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change. Appointments now available at participating locations.
We go to war for you.
At Sugar Schnarr Trial Attorneys, we're passionate about your rights, whether it's a slip and fall, a dog bite, or a motorcycle accident. We're on your side. Call 877-WAR-FOR-YOU for a free consultation or visit warforyou.com and let us fight for your rights. That's 877-WAR-FOR-YOU or visit warforyou.com.
War for you, warforyou.com.
Wendy's new Saucy Nugs come in 7 saucy flavors. Yep, you can literally hear your taste buds going. Taste bud sounds may vary. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
Bob's Discount Furniture is coming to Polaris, and Bob's Discount Furniture wants you to win big this football season. It's easy. Get online and go to 971thefan.com to register to win a $1,000 gift card to Bob's Discount Furniture, so you can watch your favorite football team sitting in your new Bob's recliner or couch this season. Wow. That's $1,000 from Bob's Discount Furniture. All you have to do is register to win on the Fans Contest page at 971thefan.com. Hurry, contest ends Wednesday, August 28th. See complete contest details online at 971thefan.com. Ready to be the change and have a positive impact on your community? Consider joining the Columbus Division of Police. Starting pay is $70,000 plus, growing to 6 figures after 4 years of service. We offer paid vacations, paid holidays, and health insurance. Do you aspire to complete your degree? We offer 100% tuition reimbursement after you complete your first year of service. Contact the CPD recruiting unit at jobs@columbuspolice.org or apply online at columbus.gov/government/jobs. The City of Columbus is an equal opportunity employer.
Have you lost Ohio Medicaid? At healthcare.gov, you can find a low-cost, quality health plan.
Do plans cover doctor visits?
What about emergency care?
And prescriptions?
All covered and more. Plus, with the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Skies are clear and sunny today. Temperatures rising fast. We're starting in the 60s. We'll end the day in the 90s. Columbus topping out at 95 degrees, but with some humidity, it's going to feel more like 97. So pack that extra water. I'm meteorologist Madison Reich with your weather impact forecast on The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Beamer has a very punchable face, so Bobby punches it. This is Morning Juice.
You've heard us talk about it a lot. That'd be FanDuel. Not just our favorite sports book, but America's #1 sports book. And we got something a little bit different for you. Now through September 22nd, about 3.5 weeks away? Through September 22nd, not just new customers to FanDuel, but all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and then get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then with the YouTube TV base plan, Bob, I know that you and I both have it. Yep. You're going to be able to watch every single regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game, and all you need is a Google account and a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. I can already picture the witching hour, the closing minutes, like last 5 minutes of NFL games and those 1 o'clock windows on Sunday. It's the best thing we got going.
Oh, Beam, it's going to be done quick. It's going to be fantastic. You got 2 weeks left to dive on in and be able to get that before the start of the NFL season. Just visit FanDuel.com/juice to download America's #1 sportsbook. Must be 21 older and present in Ohio. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds. Terms and restrictions and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
So sitting down last night, get Willie to bed. I'm like, all right, what time's this game kick off? Said 7:15. Game didn't kick off till 7:45. Doesn't make any sense. And so getting there, ready to watch it, put Willie down, and Mary goes, I got some school work to do. Didn't do it this afternoon. So she goes upstairs, comes down in like the 40th minute or so. And I'm sitting on the couch watching this game. She goes, how have we been doing? Like, give me the breakdown. I'm like, it's still 0-0. Like, you're all good. Haven't missed anything yet. She goes, what's the gist? What are we looking like? I'm like, we are just holding possession. Like, we just have had the ball so much here over the course of the first 40 minutes in the game. Like, at one point, I think, Bob, it was like 75-25% possession. Like, LAFC was just chasing us around. Like, just they couldn't get the ball, they couldn't touch it, and then right on.
You can't get this. You can't get this.
That's basically it. Like, just shades to MLS Cup back in December. And so, I mean, they're being touted to as when they come in here. Like, they signed Olivier Giroud over from Europe. He's France's all-time leading scorer. They have Lloris. They've got good players. Like, this could be the best MLS team of all time. LA.
There's no Eric Cantona.
Like, first of all, you just got beat by us in December in MLS Cup final. The other time that we played you this season, we went out to your home park and beat you 5-1 in your stadium. That's the only loss that they've had, like, in the last like 24 games or something crazy. And they come into last night's game. I think Denny, why am I blanking on his name? Anyway, it doesn't matter what your name is. He goes into the game last night. He's like, it's going to be different than in December. The feeling of revenge is in the air. I'm like, I don't know. Not sure about that. So right before halftime, ball gets played out to Mo Farsi. He plays back onto the side. Ball gets back played to Mo Farsi. Throws it up into the middle of the box. Cucho, who stands at 5'9", rises up over a defender, heads it right into the upper 90 on the far side. So it's 1-0 heading into halftime. Feeling really good about it. LAFC, credit to them. They get a corner kick, Bob. Olivier Giroud scores on the corner. It's 1-1. And then you felt like in the game, like LAFC grabbed some momentum because they did kind of score out of nowhere. Like that was totally against the script and the way that it was going. And then, I mean, for the next, I don't know, Bob, 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes, I mean, it was LAFC kind of dominated the game and the Crew were trying to get a foothold back into it. And then all of a sudden, it is the 92nd minute. Cucho Hernandez has the ball on the far side. Crew had already made some substitutions. Jason Russell-Rowe comes flying into the box. Cucho puts it up for what was going to be a cross.
Yeah.
And Russell Rose crashing across the box. Hugo Lloris, LAFC's goalkeeper, he's standing there, ball's coming in. I mean, you can see him like shading towards
short post to stop the cross.
Correct.
The chaser.
Yeah, stopping someone from getting head on it. So he kind of shades himself to the right a little bit.
Want to stop that?
Ball's floating in the air. Nobody touches the ball.
Yeah.
It bounces right in front of Hugo Lloris, goes in the net. That's the 92nd minute. And then LAFC obviously pushing everybody forward. They only have a few seconds to score. And then wrap around, fast break. Cucho's on the break. Russell Rose right next to him. Defender about 5-6 yards ahead of the goal line decides to step to Cucho. He flips it over to Jason Russell Rowe. He scores in the 94th. Boom, game over.
I mean, Cucho probably could have taken that last one himself for the hat trick, which would have been tremendous. But it was the beam. That's what you want to see. Hanging another banner. You know, we'll have to ask your guys, see where this goes.
Chris Doran texted me this morning, and what did he say? He goes, did I say the over? I did. I said the over. Another trophy. Have a great show. I said it's Cucho's world, and we're just living in it. Yeah, listen to the man from himself, Cucho. What about how excited he was? He ripped his shirt off, too, threw it into the stands. Lucky he got it back. I think Matan was all over it, like pointing to someone in the stands who had Cucho's shirt. It's like, hey, we need that. Got to get that back because he's got to play the last few minutes of this game. Here was Cucho after the game about his game-winning goal.
No words. To be honest, it was amazing moment for me, for the fans, for the team. It was amazing moment, and we are so happy. We are enjoying a lot this moment. We deserve it. We did a great League Cup, and this keep we have another final next month. We want to win it.
And then here was him talking about.
Ask him what about his jersey? How do you get his shirt back?
Yeah, luckily, I think the guy who caught it in the stands was fine enough, just throwing it back, making sure that he could play the last couple of minutes. Here he was about setting Jason Russell Rowe up on the 3-1 goal.
I was running with the ball. I say, I'm gonna get my hat trick. But the central back came to me. I say I had to give to Jason because I know Jason. We know Jason. We know he's gonna score always. He's a great striker. He's a killer. So when I gave him the ball, I knew it. He scored.
He's a killer. I love it. Hey, man, I'm on a hat trick, but I'm going to pass you the ball. Don't miss. And he didn't. Slotted it home to make it 3-1.
He's a killer, man.
Another trophy coming back to Columbus.
He's a killer.
Absolutely, man. So it was great. The best part about last night's Leagues Cup game is, like, if you lost, who cares? But if you won, so we were always a big fan of Leagues Cup. You know, we was big Leagues
nice
Cup guys.
to keep LA in their place, too, Beam.
Of course it is, man. Talking about, that's the best team ever, the black and gold.
Put them back in the corner.
Yeah, we'll see you again in December, maybe, for MLS Cup final back here in Columbus. So it was a terrific night last night over at lower.com field. Quick turnaround, too. I mean, they are in Philadelphia on Wednesday. I don't know what that starting lineup is going to look like, but I'd imagine some of these guys are going to get a little bit of rest. So that's back in MLS. Like, MLS is now starting back. Crew on 23 games, I think 11 games left to go in the regular season. And then Cucho mentioned they're playing Campeones Cup, which is the winner of the Mexican League and the winner of MLS playing like a one-off final. We last won that cup in 2021. So that will be Club America at lower.com
More
field
cups,
sometime
Steve.
in September.
Where's the cup bearer?
Exactly, Bob.
I don't even know. Like this is the third tournament that I've heard of here outside of regular MLS.
I follow it, and it's confusing.
What was this most recent one you just mentioned?
Campeones Cup. It's the Mexican champion and MLS champion in a one-off final.
Like,
Leagues Cup, same thing. I mean, Mexican teams in there too. It's just the champion v the champion.
Did we play anybody else outside of the Mexican teams ever?
Well, we did. We didn't this year in CONCACAF.
Play some Canadian teams?
But you could play Canadian teams or teams from like Guatemala as well. So the Crew adding to their trophy cabinet. It was an awesome night at lower.com field. Bill Bender of the Sporting News, he's going to join the program. We'll break down week 1 and a recap of week 0 of the college football season with him coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and happy Monday to you. Right now, no crashes on the map, but we're watching busy traffic on I-71 near downtown and on I-70 coming in from the far west side. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarhvac.com.
Get Eco.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey, Jerry, you seem pretty happy this morning.
I invented a song.
You know songwriters have an actual word for inventing a song.
Everything we want people to know about eco. Ready?
Can't wait.
Get eco. G-E-T-E-C-O. Get eco. They can really go. Get eco. For your Cinco. Fix in a blinko. You'll think-o. Hooray. Get eco. G-E-T-E-C-O. Get eco. You'll be cool like snow. Get eco. Like a nice Ringo. Puerto Rico. Get eco today. What do you think?
You know we don't serve Puerto Rico, right?
I do know that.
I mean, the drive alone from Ohio is like, geez.
Way too far.
But you ran out of rhymes for eco?
You gotta admit, the rest is pretty catchy.
Oh, it's earworming already.
Get eco.
E-C-O. As is that thing.
Our nation's veterans put everything on the line to defend our nation. They're heroes. And when they need help, Congressman Mike Carey fights for them because he cares about America's veterans.
My name is Thomas Wren, and I put my life on the line serving our nation in Vietnam. But when I needed help with an outstanding disability claim, the VA wasn't there for me. But Congressman Mike Carey had my back. Because of his hard work, my claim was approved, and I got the help I needed. I'm thankful for Congressman Carey. He cares about our veterans.
Mike Carey will always fight to help our nation's heroes. If you're a veteran who needs help navigating government services, programs, and grants, call Congressman Mike Carey's office at 614-927-6902 or visit carey.house.gov. Paid for with official funds from the Office of Mike Carey.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app, or listen at home on your smart speaker, or open up the iHeartRadio app, or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
The Columbus Men's Clinic opened in 2014 for guys who get it done. Let's talk, fellas. You solve problems all day at work. You fix your sink when it's broken. But when it comes to ED and low T, it doesn't get done. We get it. You hate going to the doctor, but you're the guy that fixes things. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, there's nothing to fear and no reason to delay. We've been destroying bedroom boredom for a decade. So if you haven't fixed this, call us. When the pills fail, call us. If you feel like you've tried everything, call us. Here, there's hope. From the conventional to the next level. You'll be seen by our friendly, discreet physician who will take the time to listen. Imagine finally taking care of this with no surgery. Imagine going from feeling gray to living life in vibrant color. It's time to be confident. Join the thousands of guys who have found success after walking through our doors. Will you be one of them? Dial 614-300-7400 or go to ColumbusMen'sClinic.com to schedule a $99 male performance consultation, including blood work. Do it for you. Do it for her. ColumbusMen'sClinic.com. Book your appointment now.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit, hims.com/joy.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
If Bobby and Beamer aren't talking about it, it's not worth your time anyway. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Coming up here tomorrow at the same time, Schlegs, he's going to join the program as he does every Tuesday, and a guy who joins us every Monday as we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline, checking with our great friend of the sporting news. He is Bill Bender. Bill, thanks so much for the time, buddy. Always appreciate it. Week 0 in the bag. I mean, I think we expected Florida State to win that game. Knew that I think all three of us said it's going to be close at halftime. I have a hard time envisioning disillusioning Florida State not pulling away. That was a 60-minute dogfight that we got in Dublin, Ireland. Georgia Tech, first game of the season, upset already in the bag. Welcome to college football 2024, Bill.
Yeah, some of us picked Florida State to win the ACC. I was hoping that Sporting News could scrub that article from the internet, but they haven't. I think it was a case of, if I was a Florida State fan, I would be very frustrated that they didn't trust DJU to throw the ball down the field. They didn't throw a pass of more than 10 yards until the second half. Those are still Florida State receivers. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and they got pushed around on the other end by Georgia Tech's offensive line, and, you know, you get in a dogfight in the fourth quarter, things like that happen. So credit the Yellow Jackets for starting the season off with an upset.
Yeah, it was big. Do you think that eliminates the ACC's ability to be a multi-bid league at this point, Bill?
I would say too early, but it doesn't help when you have your powerhouse teams lose early. I think there is going to be a wide-open ACC race. Florida State's not out of it. They just can't lose in conference again. Clemson has an opportunity, but that's not going to look great if Clemson goes out and gets beat by Georgia Tech by a couple touchdowns. And what's naturally going to happen from there is we're going to do what we always do and jump on the Miami Hurricanes bandwagon. But what if they lose to Florida? That could happen. Then the ACC, from a perception standpoint, is going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. I mean, that quarterback and then that running back for Georgia Tech, they were having a day. Like, I think, Bill, if you were to go into that game blind and didn't know which team was ranked, which team was not ranked, honestly, like Florida State, or Georgia Tech rather, looked to be the better team. The way that they were establishing the ground game, the quarterback making a pass whenever he really needed to. I mean, it was pretty remarkable watching Florida State, who we all deemed as a team that was possibly going to get in and still can into the college football playoff. I know it's very early. We're not even in to week number 1 yet. But, I mean, Georgia Tech was playing bully ball in that game, and that was really impressive to me.
Yeah, and it embodies their coach. And, you know, we talked about that a little bit over the summer with Georgia Tech. When you have a coach, Frank Key, who played there, who was an interim coach a couple years ago when it was very messy, you heard him afterward saying, run the ball. He looks like a guy that wants to run the ball every play. And they do that. They played physical. Haynes King made a couple throws, didn't make a bunch of throws, but made a couple key throws. And Jamal Haynes had a nice game. Their defense looked much better. Their defense was horrible against the run last year. So it all added up to that upset. And then, you know, I tuned in later that night, and he was trying to get upset in their ACC opener. That was a wild first week 0 day.
It really was. I heard Pete Thamel say on game day that he thought Florida State had the best defensive line in college football. It didn't really appear that way, Bill, from the game that I was watching.
Well, they have Patrick Payton, and he didn't do much in that game either. Now, if we're talking best defensive lines in college football, I mean, there's one right there in Columbus that's going to be very good. Very on the interior. I think Michigan and Notre Dame will have very good defensive lines this year. And then Georgia always has that. They always have depth with 4- and 5-star guys on that side of it. But, you know, Florida State, obviously, this is another thing we're going to do all day is talk about the transfer portal. And when you bring in that many guys from the portal, if you want continuity, it's just not going to happen. I mean, sometimes you get lucky in a rebuild, and then sometimes this happens. That's the roulette game you play when you bring in that many guys.
He is Bill Bender, the Sporting News, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Yesterday, Bill, I mean, we did have some news on the Michigan, the notice of allegations that they got. I know that Yahoo reported it, ESPN reported on it. The NCAA did confirm that. Can you just spell that out and what that means as far as timeline goes for Michigan? Because this is now the Connor Stallions allegations that they got yesterday.
Well, and for those that I have seen the Connor Stallions documentary, and I can't give too much away because it's embargoed, other than to say it's going to create a reaction in Columbus. It's going to create a reaction in Ann Arbor, and I think it's going to create a reaction with the casual fan. They're going to either get really mad or it does a good job. It's pretty fair.
Really?
So on both, yeah, which surprised me because most of those untold are one side. This has got a little more of both sides. It's not completely like supportive of Connor Stallion. So, but to answer your question, I would say Michigan has a chance to respond to these. You look at the timeline, typically it's 3 months for that and then another month for the NCAA to come back. I go back to the Kansas one, though, and that one took forever. So I think this is going to draw out for a while. Now, if the penalties aren't severe that it's then vacated wins and those type of things, if I were Michigan, I would just accept what they give and go from there and just try to get this thing out of the news. This would be 2 full seasons, this thing lingering against that program.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, some of the negative press. But we got the first full week of college football, full slate of games. I believe there's like 21 games on Thursday, which used to be like a nice opening. Now there's just a robust and ridiculous number. Couple that you're looking forward to the most here this weekend?
Obviously Notre Dame, Texas A&M, because Texas A&M's favored. I think I mentioned Miami earlier. Florida, Miami, another tight spread, 2 schools that don't see each other much or haven't played nearly enough, and that should be a really fun game. Clemson will start it off at noon on Saturday. Now on Thursday night, we're all going to watch Deion. There's the other polarizing person in college football. They play North Dakota State. He's been going back and forth with Sean Keeler from the Denver newspaper, and I have feelings on that too. Like, I have mixed feelings on that because as a reporter, we have a right to ask questions, but I'm starting to wonder if you criticize a coach that much, if there was a writer in Columbus that criticized Ryan Day like that much, I don't know what Ohio State would do there. And it would become an open question. So, and I like Sean too. He does a really good job. But I think this is one where those two probably just need to talk it out and come to some sort of an agreement.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty wild to see. And again, North Dakota State, not the easiest opponent for sure. Before we get you out of here, Bill, I know that you mentioned we got Miami, Florida, 3:30 on Saturday. Of course, the Buckeyes will play host to Akron on Saturday at 3:30. I'm excited to watch kind of in the multi-box and the option because the Clemson-Georgia game will get a lot of the headlines. Penn State going to West Virginia to me just screams great week 1 college football game. At least to me it does.
Yeah, and an 8.5-point spread, at least last time I looked. So Penn State handled them last year, but West Virginia was able to run the ball a little bit. And West Virginia was one of the hotter teams in the country the back half of last season with Garrett Green. This is a pressure game for the Nittany Lions. They do need to go in and win that because the fallout with their schedule in the Big Ten would be great. That's one of those college football venues you love to see it new. And a regional game that I hope we don't lose in the future. West Virginia and Penn State don't play nearly enough. The Mountaineers haven't beat them in Morgantown since 1989. So if they win that game, it's going to touch off one of those country road celebrations that I think an entire generation of fans wouldn't forget. So exactly what you said, that's what college football is all about. It should be a really fun game.
Bill, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us here this morning. Have a fantastic week 1. Enjoy the slate coming up here this week, and we'll check in again next Monday, all right?
Hey, no problem, guys. Take care. Have a good one.
You too. There he goes, our great friend of the Sporting News, Bill Bender, with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Jim Harbaugh wanted really bad to be stuck in an elevator this weekend. We'll do that in Quick Hitters coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, no crashes to tell you about, but we are watching things pick up on 33 out in Canal Winchester, also on 33 in Plain City. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Dormar, your kind of hero.
Dormar can be there today, guaranteed. Visit them at dormarhvac.com.
Men, if erectile dysfunction is affecting you, getting treated could have a dramatic impact on your relationship and your outlook on life. But it's also important where you get treated because your health matters. And working with an organization that practices excellent medicine and has significant expertise in men's sexual health can often result in a far better outcome. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you're seeking a quality provider to treat your ED or are just not satisfied with your current situation, call us. We'll show you a true 5-star experience and work with you to find the right treatment for your specific medical situation. At Tri-State Men's Health, we truly are experts in men's sexual health. But it's more than that. Unlike the online pill pushers or so-called men's clinics that only offer one or a few treatment options, we offer the full spectrum of ED protocols. We can even use combinative therapies for better results. At Tri-State Men's Health, your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. Back to school time. Your kids probably have fancy friends. Isn't it about time you gave them a ride to be proud of? Actually, hell with the kids. Treat yourself to a new Lexus. Right now, it's the Golden Opportunity Sales Event with rates as low as 2.99% on ES, NX, and RX, as well as great lease payments. I've been a Jermaine customer for years, even before I started doing the commercials. If you're in the market, please stop in. Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. JermaineLexus.com.
Hey, Buckeye fans, ready for the chance to win one of 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences? As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. We're talking tickets, sideline passes, a trip for 2 to the Oregon game, and exclusive access to the Ryan Day Coaches Show. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 winners. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
If you have an unhealthy obsession with the Blue Jackets, we have just the remedy. Join us Wednesday nights at 7 for the Inside Edge. All the Jackets and hockey conversation you can handle. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. As a business owner in these uncertain economic times, you struggle to guard your life's work against unexpected challenges. But can it withstand the sudden disruption of a divorce? In divorce, financials are scrutinized and the company itself could be in jeopardy. When your hard-earned work is at risk, count on our experience and advocacy in handling these matters at Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Columbus area attorneys. 10 West Broad Street, Suite 1550, Columbus, Ohio, 43215. CordellCordell.com.
At Take 5, we're faster than you think. That means we'll change your oil and have you back on the road before you can count all the change in your center console. Cha-ching, baby! Just sit back and relax while our fast, friendly team does all the work. Take 5, the stay-in-your-car 10-minute oil change. Appointments now available at participating locations.
It's the summer sell down at Performance. Get up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 24 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees during the Make This the Summer of Jeep event. Performance, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Georgesville, and Delaware.
Not valid on previous sales. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock 8/20 to 8/31/24.
Something amazing is happening in workplaces everywhere. Devices are learning how people work and adapting to help them get more done. That's because CDW is modernizing experiences with Dell's intelligent portfolio of devices. Thanks to built-in security and AI capabilities, your teams can work smarter wherever they may be. Dell and CDW. Make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/Dell Client.
When your job demands more than just hard work, trust Timberland Pro, the brand that defines superior comfort, performance, and durability. Built on a legacy of craftsmanship, Timberland Pro provides boots and apparel that stand up to the toughest challenges. Our products are as resilient as the skilled men and women who wear them. From the workshop to the job site, Timberland Pro is there with you every step of the way, blending innovation with time-tested quality. Discover why professionals choose Timberland Pro. Always do, never done. Visit timberlandpro.com or your local Timberland Pro dealer.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Skies are clear and sunny today. We're starting off on the mild side. Temperatures in the 60s this morning. We'll see highs this afternoon reach the 90s once again. Back to 95 today for your high. Make sure you pack some extra water. It's going to be feeling more like 97 through the afternoon. I'm meteorologist Madison Reich with your weather impact forecast on The Fan.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Patriot Air Comfort Systems and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep your home comfortable. The Fan.
a minute of the show?
Check out the podcast wherever you get your podcasts. Type in Morning Juice and subscribe.
This is Morning Juice.
We here on The Juice are brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can, of course, visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
Sharky?
Yes.
Happy Monday.
Yes.
And this Monday is a little bit different because it is week 1 of the college football season. So I think we're actually enjoying this week.
Week 1 better than week 0.
Yeah.
Week 2 better than week 1. I don't know. We'll find out. One of the most famous home runs in baseball history came in Game 3 of the 1932 World Series at Wrigley Field. The Cubs players had been yelling and swearing at Babe Ruth from the dugout. And in the 5th inning, one writer claims that Ruth pointed his bat out to center field and then hit a 450-foot home run to the spot where he pointed. No other reporters wrote about it, and Ruth said after the game he was pointing at the Cubs dugout. There is some grainy footage of the home run, but it's hard to tell where Ruth was pointing. Anyway, fans read the account of the game and the called shot, and they ran with it, and eventually Ruth did too. He said, "It's in the papers, isn't it?" In any event, Babe's jersey that he wore in that game was sold over the weekend for $24.12 million, setting an auction record for most expensive sports collectible. So, Beamer, whether the called shot is fact or fiction, somebody's still got a Babe Ruth game-worn jersey from 92 years ago.
I do think it is awesome. And, Shark, I didn't know that part of the story, that it was it's been argued about. I didn't know that. I do think it's great how Babe Ruth acknowledged that right out of the get-go, like after the game, like, no, I was pointing to the Cubs dugout. And then as that tail kind of became larger and larger and larger and more robust, he just started to lean into it like, yeah, of course, I hit a home run. Of course I was pointing for over the fence. I mean, I think that's terrific. And for a bargain price, too, of only $250 million, that jersey could be yours. The fact that that's the most expensive sports collectible ever is crazy to me. I don't know what I would think would be more expensive, but almost 25 mil for that jersey, yeah, it's a piece of American history.
For me, Beam, I think it's probably the sheets off Wilt Chamberlain's bed, Mr. 20,000.
Be a lot of sheets, Bob.
Well, unwashed, of course, Shark.
1,000 thread.
The more thread.
20,000 thread.
The best part is, I mean,
shorted him.
This is the beauty of the passage of time, Shark. It's a beautiful mystery. We'll never know now because Babe isn't here to confirm or deny any of this. So the thing we'll have to do is ask the person closest to the situation. He portrayed Babe in 61, John Goodman.
Yes, he did. On Friday night, 15 people were inside an elevator at the Westin Hotel in downtown Dallas, including a dozen Los Angeles Chargers players, among them quarterback Justin Herbert. They were in town to face the Cowboys on Saturday. The elevator got stuck in between floors, and the players weren't rescued until 2 hours later when they climbed through a ceiling panel into another elevator.
Tom Cruise does that all the time in the Mission Impossible.
Yes, he does.
They did it in Ocean's 11, too.
Yeah.
Here is Coach Jim Harbaugh's account.
We dodged a bullet. I usually think of dodging a bullet as, dodging an injury in football. And you got to get good at that. You got to get good at making yourself harder to break and dodging a bullet. But, I mean, it was a shared experience. 11 or 12 of our players were there for about 2 hours and brought them closer together. I just missed it being on that elevator. And it's like, I wish I could have been there with those guys,
Wish I could have been there with those guys.
Yeah. Only Jim Harbaugh would admit that he wishes he was in that elevator.
We got to get better at being unbreakable and dodging bullets. I mean, those are also things. Coach, how do you work at those, by the way? I mean, is there any drills? Is it a meeting thing?
The best part about this entire thing,
Diet?
and Sharky, I know you didn't grab this. He goes, and I'll try to do my best Jim Harbaugh impersonation. You get in those situations, and it's a test of wills. I was proud of each of the guys and 2 women that were on that elevator. That's a win. You feel good about yourself. You were challenged. It was a test of will, and you put it down or pull it in. And it was hot as each person came off the elevator sweating. Had some had their shirt off. Justin Herbert, his hair was a little wet. but his shirt was completely dry. That was another thing that blew me away. He's a maniac, man. I mean, the fact that your guys are stuck on an elevator for a couple hours, you want to be in there with them, and you're talking about Justin Herbert's lack of sweat and how that amazes you. I would like to spend approximately 2 minutes inside his brain. I mean, just to see what it's like.
That's what you noticed from it. Tremendous.
Yeah, I'd like to spend about 2 seconds inside a stuck elevator. Another loss for the White Sox yesterday. This one was historic. Detroit beat Chicago 9-4. It was the 100th loss of the season for the Sox. 100? No, Bob, not quite. They only have 31 wins to go with those 100 losses. In the modern era of baseball, which dates back to 1901, only the Philadelphia A's of 1916 reached 100 losses in fewer games than the White Sox. They did it in 130 instead of 131. Beamer, Chicago.
How did they? Because they had 29 wins at that point. They used to tie games.
They had a tie game. Yeah.
Okay.
Back then, everything was a day game.
Yeah.
They didn't have lights, and there were a lot of games that were ended in ties. When darkness came, they didn't suspend them and then finish them later. They just called it a tie. But anyway, Chicago needs to go 12-19 to avoid the 1962 New York Mets for most losses in a season with 120.
I like how Andrew Benintendi said this too. He goes, Grady Sizemore said it best. Unless you win the last game of the year, it doesn't really matter. So I think everybody has moved on. You've still got 30 games to go. Or not 130. You still got 30 games to go in this season. Yeah, everybody's moved on. Season is over for us. Why even play the games?
Yeah, I mean, Shark, I don't think they're getting that. I mean, as far as...
No, I mean, they're playing... What's their percentage?
Terrible.
200 ball?
Yeah.
So to have to go 12-19, there's
That's
no
what
way.
I'm saying. I don't... Unless there's... They're bringing someone up that we don't know about, or there's someone out there.
Yeah.
I can't imagine them not breaking that record.
No, I can't either. How long has that stood, Shark?
1962.
Wow. All right. So that's going to be some history that they're going to make this year. The transfer portal, that's getting a makeover. We'll do that in the re-rack coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and happy Monday. Right now, no crashes to tell you about, but we are watching busy traffic on 33 out in Plain City, also on 33 on the southeast side. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
CBUS Top Picks Best Credit Union, BMI Federal Credit Union has 47 financial coaches to help you meet your financial needs and goals. Visit bmifcu.org/coach to get started today.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Hey friends, Brandon Beam over here for my great friends over at Wendy's. And Wendy's new saucy nugs, well, they're here. That means the best nugs in the entire game are now even better. You can choose between Wendy's iconic crispy or spicy nugs covered in bold, flavorful sauces, including buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, and even spicy ghost pepper. Eat them with a fork, eat them with your hands, eat them for lunch, eat them after midnight. There's no wrong answer. For a whole new way to nug, it's got to be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later at participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location.
Delaware County Veterans Services invites you to visit the Wall That Heals from September 12th through the 15th at Havner Park in Liberty Township. Pay homage to those that have served in the Vietnam War. The Wall That Heals is free and open to the public. To learn more, please visit thewallthathealsohio.com.
You want a sub freshly sliced to order? You go to Jersey Mike's. You want the perfect radio idea? You go to me. Like this. I'm a lone ninja warrior. By night, I glide unseen across the rooftops, watching my enemies from the shadows. By day, I go to Jersey Mike's, watching someone freshly slice my sub. My blade is called Shadow. His blade is a Berserba brand meat slicer. Clearly, I have much to learn about this land. Freshly sliced just for you. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Are you ready to build your company's dream team? Just like in sports, finding skilled players is essential for success. With Robert Half's winning combination of specialized recruiting professionals and award-winning AI, we'll help you find the MVPs and key role players who will have you hanging banners in the rafters. Because in business, it's all about having the experienced team on your side. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you could use that money towards golf lessons to become a scratch golfer.
Progressive cannot guarantee that you will ever become a scratch golfer. Scratch golfers are really, really good. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, and sure, you could put that money towards lessons, but if you can't hit the broadside of a barn and think you're going to become a scratch golfer, you're delusional. Sorry, just telling it like it is. Savings? Maybe. Scratch golfer? Don't hold your breath. Switch and see if you can save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates. Not available in all states. It's universally accepted that golf is hard. Progressive cannot guarantee improved performance on the course.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports.
Good morning. I'm Mark. The Charcuterie Hernandez scored a pair of goals as the Crew beat LAFC 3-1 last night to win the League's Cup Championship. A sellout crowd of more than 20,000 was on hand at Lower.com Field. For just the second time in their last 20 games, the Guardians scored first. They went on to beat the Rangers 4-2 in Cleveland to take 2 of 3 in the series. John Kensey Noel hit his 12th home run in just his 41st game. The Guards now own a 3-game lead over Kansas City and Minnesota, who both lost yesterday. Reds closer Alexis Diaz doesn't blow many save opportunities. In fact, his last blown save came on May 13th, but yesterday, nursing a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the ninth, Diaz hit a batter with 1 out, and Yasmani Grandal followed with a 2-run walk-off homer. Pirates win 4-3. The Sports Center is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180. The course record might be only 40 strokes away. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Panic and passion. Is that a motivational quote or the title of an adult romance novel? You're listening to Morning Juice.
Hour number 2 of the program for us on a Monday. Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Coming up here, 7:35, Spencer Holbrook, Lettermen Row. He's going to join the program. Buckeyes, Akron this weekend, 3:30 on Saturday. He's going to join the program. We'll talk all things Buckeyes with him. And then at 8:35, coming up here at about an hour and a half's time, Joshua Perry, he's going to join the program as he does every single Monday with us as we get into the teeth of the college football season.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
You can always watch the show now on YouTube. Go to youtube.com, type in 97.1 The Fan. Go to our channel, Bob. You can subscribe. All of our local shows broadcast live. We got that going for us, which is great. Or if you don't want to do that, you can always listen to the podcast if you miss anything from the show. Anywhere you get your podcast from, just type in Morning Juice and also hit the subscribe button. Every show that Shark puts together will magically appear to your podcast, unless the podcast stream is broken. Then they won't appear. But I think that problem is fixed from last week. So we move on. Clear minds, full hearts, can't lose. Weekend of baseball, good for some, bad for others. Sharky Guards win 2 out of 3 against the Rangers. We get 3 games up now in the Central coming off of that.
Yeah, the Royals and Twins both lost yesterday, so Cleveland has a 3-game lead on both of them. Day-night doubleheader today against Kansas City.
In Kansas City, correct?
No, in Cleveland.
Oh, in Cleveland. Okay, nice. All right, so you got a little home field advantage. What was the attendance number for Cleveland over the weekend?
33, and 28. It was like 90.
Wow.
90-some thousand.
All right, good job out of them this weekend supporting their guys.
Bob, you won that.
Oh, I took the over?
No, you took 82,000. Beamer took 75,000.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah.
You won.
I thought I was taking the high road on that.
No.
All right.
You won the tiebreaker.
Good job, Bob.
I'm not going to tell you who won the regular breaker.
Why do we even have a tiebreaker if we never need to get to it?
Well, sometimes we do. Sometimes we do. The tiebreaker should be worth bonus points. Reds lose 3 out of 4 in Pittsburgh. They were up yesterday in the 9th inning. Sharky, you said that pretty nice. Summated it in the update. Very good. They're up 1 run, bottom of the 9th inning. Plunk a guy, walk-off home run. So they lose 3 out of 4 in Pittsburgh against the A's coming up here tomorrow. Seahawks 37, Browns 33 in the preseason. Good news for you, Shark. Deshaun Watson didn't play, but Kevin Stefanski, he said he's very confident in the amount of work that Deshaun has put in this summer.
Andrew Berry also said on Saturday that the offensive line will be intact for Game 1. Which
what does that mean?
That means Jed Wills and Jack Conklin are going to be back for the season opener. They didn't
play any at camp. They didn't practice at all
in camp.
So DeJuan's not going to be playing then?
Yeah, DeJuan's.
They're
moving
tackle.
him to right tackle.
So is Conklin a guard then?
Conklin's going to left tackle.
Okay. And what's
He's
Will's
never played left tackle.
What's Will's doing?
Will's is a tackle also. So I don't know who's going to get the start.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. They said it'll be intact. I'm like, you have
two spots for three guys.
That's why I'm like, is one of them sliding to guard? I mean, you looked at me like, Will play tackle? I'm like, well, Dwan plays tackle. They're moving him to left. Okay, well, what's Will's doing then? Is he playing guard?
Oh, he's going to play tackle.
Right. But where?
You got to have
for who?
Bob, you have to have a pair and a spare.
I'm going to pair and spare you.
So they win. Good news for Bengals fans too. Jamar Chase back at practice after the preseason games are done. He is back in Cincinnati, Bob. He's back. He's
got a fresh deal ready to go
on the practice field. I don't know if he has a fresh deal or not.
I think the answer is no.
Yeah. Probably not.
So there's nothing new to report.
Nothing new to report, but you know what? We're getting ready for game weeks. So we got a couple of weeks left to go before the NFL season kicks off. But Jamar Chase is back at practice. Crew last night taking down LAFC 3-1, winning the second iteration of Leagues Cup. Now, you have played LAFC a couple of times in Cup finals. Last December, MLS Cup final right here, you beat them 2-1. The only other time that you played them between that game and this final was, I think, last month in July. You went to their place, Bob, in LA. You smoked them 5-1. And so on the broadcast last night, it's just like, oh, LAFC, maybe the best team in the league, and will stake their claim now to American soccer history. Not going to happen. Cucho scores right before halftime, 1-0 heading into the half. LAFC scores on a corner kick. Olivier Giroud, France's leading all-time scorer, gets up into the box, does what he does well.
Listen, this guy's no Eric Cantona, so what are we over here celebrating him for?
I know. He comes in, he's got a World Cup, and they're like, well, look at the roster and the money that they've spent. And I'm like, well, you don't have Cucho, so it doesn't really matter on that. Cucho scores in the 92nd minute on...
Cucho's loose.
Yeah, he is. He is loose on what looked to be a cross. I mean, he's just putting in a service ball. Nobody gets on the end of it. Hugo Lloris, LA's keeper, shades to the ball, shades where he thinks the ball is going to go.
Protect the front side.
Nobody touches the ball, bounces right in front of him, bounces into the net in the 92nd minute, and then LAFC obviously push up so many guys to try to get a goal to tie the game, really with 90 seconds left to go. And then here comes Cucho and Jason Russell-Rowe. Cucho on a hat trick, got 2. Defender steps to him on a breakaway. He slots it over to Jason Russell-Rowe, puts the game away. 3-1, Crew win Leagues Cup.
There we go. Hanging banners, Beam.
I love Darlington Nagbe, too. I mean, that's my guy. He should get into the Ring of Honor the second that he retires from the Crew. He has done nothing but help this city and this organization win championships. And he is just so calm whenever he talks. And here was him, very excited that they won Leagues Cup trophy, and they got to do it at home.
It's just amazing. I think what the team been able to do, the club, the city. And then, man, got to give credit to the fans. We were packed the house tonight, and they cheered us on, and to have another final in Columbus, it was amazing, I'm just so proud of the guys for another championship run.
Did he have the assist on the header?
No, that was Mo Farsi.
Okay.
Mo Farsi cut in from the right side and had the assist. But just calm as ever. All that guy does is win trophies. That's it. That's all he does. Ever since you got him.
Ring of Honor guy here?
Cucho? Yeah. I think he's one of the best players in Crew history, if not league history.
Really?
Yeah, he's a freak.
Is there an MLS Hall of Fame?
It's a great question, Bob. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Soccer Beam?
Yeah, I know. Soccer Bone would know more about that. Let's look that up. MLS Hall of Fame.
Or some sort of pro soccer?
National Soccer Hall of Fame.
Okay, there is that.
National Soccer Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Where do you put Cucho?
Where's it located?
That is located in Frisco, Texas.
Birthplace of American soccer.
Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas.
That's not accurate.
Maybe it is.
That's what it says.
I believe that
the Hall of Fame was founded in 1950 by the Philadelphia Old Timers Association. They also vote in the Baseball Hall of Fame voting. A group of former professional and amateur soccer players that wanted to recognize achievements in American soccer. It's a public-private partnership among FC Dallas and the city of Frisco, Texas, with the U.S. Soccer Federation, currently located in Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas, a suburb of Dallas.
Yeah. Birthplace of American soccer.
Induction is the highest honor in American soccer.
I'd figure it's the American Soccer Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I think he's a guy.
Or do you rank, I mean, who's better than Cucho, you think, for the Crew?
All time.
Brian McBride.
Are we talking like goal scorers or just players?
Just players. I mean, anyone you would put ahead of him.
Frankie is my guy.
Yeah, but is Frankie better than him?
No, but we loved him because he was like the Energizer Bunny. He would just run around. We had him.
Who did you like better?
We had him.
I said, who would you say is better?
I kick myself for this. We had him on an episode of Bone and Beam United.
Could probably get him back on.
I think we can. Anytime we can get Frankie back on, and he's obviously a splendid human being. And
Especially
we got done with
lure him in here with some treats.
We got done with the interview. Yeah, man, go Crew. He's the best. So we ended the interview, and I cut the recording of it, and then he just started telling the story about when they were playing the U.S. He was playing with the U.S. in the World Cup. He was like, yeah, man, we were playing against Portugal, and they brought this guy on, and he was doing step overs and all kinds of these crazy things. And he goes, I gave him a nice little body check. And, a couple of times I put him down to the ground. I was like, yeah. He goes, that guy was Cristiano Ronaldo. They moved him over to the other side to get him away from me. I kick myself for not recording that. I'm sure he would come on and tell the story.
Young Cristiano.
Young Cristiano.
Probably like 16. I'm basically like 16, 17 years old.
Lucas still has a place in our hearts, Bob. I mean, that guy was terrific.
Mr. Zellareon?
Yeah, but as far as like better goes, Cucho is the best player to ever play for us.
Okay.
What he does in big game. I mean, he had 2 goals and assists in a cup final last night.
I'm not disputing you.
Yeah.
I was simply asking Soccer Beam and the pantheon of Columbus Crew greats, stemming back to Brian McBride in the 90s.
All-timer. He's an all-timer.
Is he the best?
I think he could be GOAT status. Yeah. I think we're on track for that. Here he was last night.
Throwing his jersey into the crowd with time left on the clock. Did you see that, Shark?
2 minutes left to go in the game. Cucho goes over to the corner. Boom! Throws his jersey. Alex Maton's like, hey, we're going to need that back. We got a couple more minutes to go. But here was Cucho after the game winner.
No words. To be honest, it was amazing moment for me, for the fans, for the team. Was amazing moment, and we are so happy. We are enjoying a lot this moment. We deserve it. We did a great Leagues Cup, and this keep we have another final next month. We want to win it.
Yeah, for sure, man. You're just in trophy hoarding mode. I said that at the beginning of the year after getting the first one done against LAFC. You got food poisoning down in Pachuca, so you weren't able to win that, but you do win this iteration of Leagues Cup. So a great night to be a Crew fan. Another trophy added to the trophy case. I would say Darlington Nagbe goes on that list too, Bob. I mean, Darlington is an all-time Crew guy.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just curious, because Cucho, to me, in his brief time here, what's it been, 3 years?
Yeah.
I mean, he's been about as good as you could ask him to be.
Yeah, I mean, his first game, he played 30 minutes against Chicago and scored from the half-field line. It's like, hey, welcome to Columbus.
Yeah.
He's been incredible since he's gotten here. But the Crew take on Philadelphia in Philadelphia on Wednesday. So quick turnaround for them as they get back into MLS and out of Leagues Cup right now. Saw this from over the weekend, Bob. Thought it was interesting. Yahoo Sports' Ross Dellinger reported over the weekend that the NCAA's Football Oversight Committee, the Council of Elders, has recommended the elimination of the spring transfer portal window, which would leave just one window in the winter for players to enter the portal and be eligible to play the following season. The recommendation would go into effect immediately if it's adopted by the council, leaving December 9th through January 7th as the only transfer window for the 24-25 offseason.
So mixed feelings on this. Guys who maybe lose out on starting jobs in the spring and, they don't have the chance to transfer to maybe play somewhere else. What will that do to the postseason transfer window? Will you get... People go, who's going to transfer from Ohio State to quarterback room? I don't know if anybody will, because you can compete. And if you don't win that job, then you can go play somewhere else. But you're going to want to compete in the spring to have a leg up. But it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Because then on the other side of it, I don't think you should be able to hey, I know that I was going to transfer in the fall. We did some NIL stuff. Now I'm even better, and you need me even more.
Yeah, but the date is weird. I mean, it goes through January 7th. The final game of the year in college football this year is January 20th.
They get extensions for that if you're still playing.
You're right. You get a week extension or 2 week extension, don't you?
Based upon your last game, you get a week from that point. Because then when we kept joking because then when like Saban left, then they got like another week because they got more time for their coach leaving and everything else.
Yeah, and then when DeBoer left, the window opened for Washington players, right?
Yes.
And it was just this big kind of Pandora's box effect. And then when DeBoer left, Arizona got one for Jedd Fisch leaving to go to Washington.
So it just was the circular reference of when is it done? Well, it's done when people quit leaving.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reality of it.
So it's potentially getting a makeover. I don't really know. We'll have to ask some of the coaches how they feel about that and having the one transfer portal window instead of the second one opening in the spring as well. Buckeyes Akron play on Saturday for game number 1 of the season. We're going to do some Ohio State season over-unders coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. Right now, we do not have any crashes that we're watching, but we're seeing busy traffic on 33, both out in Plain City and in Canal Winchester. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
We're dealing at Reichert Ford.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Thousands of vehicles are waiting at ReichertFord.com. We're dealing.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Coming this Labor Day weekend, Bob's biggest challenge yet. It's time to dare to compare. It's got action. It's got suspense. It's got beeps and boops and dings and whomps and more savings than you'll believe on living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, mattresses, and more. And best of all, you get to play too this Labor Day weekend. Now open in Reynoldsburg and coming soon to Polaris. See how much you can save this Labor Day weekend when you dare to compare at a Bob's near you.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
Moolah, greenbacks dough, Skrilla chips, bread and mo. 2, 5, 10, and 20, 30 big ones, games aplenty. Cheddar, butter, loot and scratch, find the letters, make a match, cause there's many words for cash, no doubt, many ways to play cash word. Check 'em out. Cash word from Ohio Lottery. It's game time, yo. Cash word, it's fun to go with millions in prizes, don't you know?
Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
We're dealing at Reichert Nissan. Hundreds of Nissans in stock, on the ground, and priced to sell fast. Low lease payments on brand new Reichert Nissan Sentras, only $219 a month. Now we're really dealing. With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Visit the Reichert Mega Mall off 270 and 33 or shop thousands of new and certified used at ReichertNissan.com. We're dealing.
With approved credit. 2024 Sentra SV FWD 36-month lease with $3,000 due at signing. Offer ends 9/3/24.
Hey friends, Brandon Beam over here from my great friends over at Wendy's. And Wendy's new saucy nugs, well, they're here. That means the best nugs in the entire game are now even better. You can choose between Wendy's iconic crispy or spicy nugs covered in bold, flavorful sauces, including buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, and even spicy ghost pepper. Eat them with a fork, eat them with your hands, eat them for lunch, eat them after midnight. There's no wrong answer. For a whole new way to nug, it's got to be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later at participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location.
Healthcare.gov is here for you when life happens. If you lost your health coverage because of turning 26, going off Medicaid, leaving your job, or moving, you could be eligible to enroll in new coverage now. And if you need to update your coverage because of marriage or having a baby, you could also be eligible. But don't wait. There's a limited time to enroll. Check your eligibility at healthcare.gov today. Life happens. Get covered. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, A law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Skies are clear and sunny today. Temperatures rising fast. We're starting in the 60s. We'll end the day in the 90s. Columbus topping out at 95 degrees, but with some humidity, it's going to feel more like 97. So pack that extra water. I'm meteorologist Madison Reich with your weather impact forecast on The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Beam has a baby face. Bobby has soft hands. That should not stop you from listening to this show. This is Morning Juice.
Coming up here in about 15 minutes' time, 7:35, Spencer Holbrook, Lettermen Row. He's going to join the program. We'll talk some Buckeyes with him. I was reading this from over the weekend, and Josh from 11 Warriors does a really good job of this, Bob. And we'll go over some individual numbers a little bit later on in the week as we get closer to Ohio State kickoff. But he did team over-unders. Now, there's no numbers for this like actually out there, so he's setting the quote-unquote market for this and the numbers for the team. And it just starts off here. He said, how much will the Buckeyes improve statistically from the 2023 season? So what he has done, he has assigned numbers to these categories.
Ooh, numbers. I like that.
Points per game, rushing touchdowns, passing yards a game, rushing yards per game, yards per carry, third down conversion rate, red zone touchdown rate, points allowed, sacks, TFL, opponent third down conversion rate, and interception. So he has set over-under numbers for all of these. All right. And I think, I was looking at this last night, and again, his numbers are pretty good, and I was messaging him. It's like, how'd you come up with this? He's like, it took me a while to figure out what we were going to go with, but I think that they're pretty good numbers. So, points per game has set the over-under in points per game for the 2024 iteration of your Buckeyes for 41.5 points per game. Last year, Ohio State ranked 45th in the country at 30.5 points per game. So that is 11.
41, that's a lot.
That is 11 points per game higher than what they had last year. 2022, they averaged 44, 2021, 45, 2020, 41, and 2019, 46.9.
They'd be returning back to a little bit of the high-flying offense.
Yeah.
I think they probably are close to 40. That sounds about right this year. You look at the schedule and the teams they're playing, so I think that matters too.
Yeah, I think that was a pretty good number. Rushing touchdowns for Ohio State. Last year, the Buckeyes had only 20 rushing touchdowns. That was tied for 62nd in the country. So that was right there in the middle of the pack. I'm sure they're going to be working on that, especially with Chip Kelly coming over here in the offseason. 2022, they had 30, which was good for 23rd. 2021, 24. Which was good for 24th. 2020, they had 19, which was 32nd. And then back in 2019, which I think was JK's last year, right? Where he was just going nutso. They got 6th with 39. Over under this year, 38.5 rushing touchdowns for the Buckeyes. Woo!
That's a lot. Plus, you have to think about this too. The rushing touchdowns is not just by the running backs, it's by the quarterbacks as well. So when you had Justin Fields, although he didn't run a ton, he was a viable option. I'll have to go back and look at how many rushing touchdowns he had. Dwayne wasn't really running it much down there. Kyle didn't really run it a whole lot down there.
CJ wasn't running.
That's what and CJ wasn't. So you had 3 guys who really didn't. And Justin did some. I'm trying to remember if he would have scored.
Justin rushing touchdowns at Ohio State. 2019 he had 10. 2020 he had 5, but that was only in 8 games that he played in 2020.
Okay.
So 15 in his Ohio State career.
All right, and so that just adds on to that. So Will's going to be involved in the rushing game down in the red zone, and he's going to provide another viable option. Plus, I think when you have running backs that are as good as these guys, like if you can run it in the red zone, that helps a lot. That puts you in a very, very good spot. So I would anticipate those numbers to go up. I mean, do you number 1 in the country? I don't know about that, but I think you're probably a top 10 rushing touchdown type of team.
Somewhere mid to high 30s, you think, at the end of the season?
That sounds about right.
I think that's a really good. I think 38.5 is a pretty solid number.
I would say that's pretty close.
On that. Passing touchdowns for Ohio State. Last year, 26. 2022, 2021, we know they had a lot those years, 42 and 46. 2019, Justin, they had 48 passing touchdowns. This year, Josh from 11 Warriors has set the over at 33.5, right? We think that they're going to be a more run-first team, so the rushing touchdown number is going to be higher than passing.
I think it'll be close. I think they'll be pretty even. Gosh, that's a good number. That's a good question. Which will be more this
Maybe that'll be the fan poll today, Shark. Will
There
Ohio
it
State
is.
score more passing or more rushing touchdowns?
There
this
you
year? Or defensive touchdowns?
Scoring 40 defensive touchdowns.
I didn't hear you. I couldn't hear what you said there. You turned on the wrong microphone.
Special teams.
We'll do special teams and defense.
They haven't had a
Rushing.
kick return for 12 years, I want to say.
Yeah, is it Jordan
Kick or punt?
Hall against Michigan, right?
I think Jalen Marshall had one. Am I mistaken in that?
It's either one or the other. I think did Jalen have a punt or a kick? Because I've heard Paul and Jim say it on the broadcast every time. I feel like it's a punt return, Bob. We haven't had a punt return for a touchdown in a long while.
Yeah, 2014 when Jalen Marshall took the ball to the house.
What about kickoff return?
2010 for the last kick, which is where you're at, which is Jordan Hall.
Yeah.
Against Michigan.
It's been 14 years since you've had a kickoff return for a touchdown.
It's been 10 since you've had a punt.
Let's change that this year.
I think that's the goal.
Let's get that changed. Total yards for the Buckeyes, 499.5, 499.5.
A lot.
The old 250, right? That's what Urban Meyer always used to say. You get 500 yards, 250 on the ground, 250 through the air. Last year, Ohio State averaged 407 yards per game, which was good for 48th in the country. And then from 2022 to 2019, you were near 500 or over 500. 2021, this offense averaged 561 yards per game, which was good for first in the country. 499.5. I think I would take the over on that.
It's a lot.
It is.
I mean, plus you look at all the games they'd be playing. I mean, I don't know what type of records they have at Ohio State, but that would I mean, you talk about averaging 500 yards, Beam, for 16 games.
Yeah, but also
8,000 total yards.
And if you go 250, that's 4,000 on the ground and 4,000 through the air. That's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of yards, Bob. Maybe
it's through 16 games.
I'll take the under. And the rule changes too with the clock stoppages. Like the games are faster and there are less plays.
That is the thing. We'll see that the play count continues to decrease. If there's more huddling now with the helmets, if the tempo of the game changes, that's just so many. I think they'll crack 500 a number of games, but to average that, I mean, Oregon has a really good defense. I mean, there might be, you got to think, even go back to that Northwestern game that was up in Evanston, which was a crap show on the water.
Oh, was it the wind and rain game?
Yeah, you just might have a game where you can only get 290 yards because of just elements.
That sinks your average down a significant amount. Do one right here for the offense. Actual red zone touchdown rate. They were 64% last year. Josh from 11 Warriors has set the over-under at 70%. So 7 out of 10.
70%, you're winning a lot of games.
You're winning a lot of football games. Only twice in the last 5 seasons has Ohio State done that. In 2022, they averaged 75% touchdown red zone percentage. And then in 2019, Bobby, they were at 79%.
Because they ran the ball so well.
Yeah.
And when you run the ball that well, it's going to open up a lot of things for you.
How about defense? Let's do a couple of defensive stats. And again, you can go to 11 Warriors and read all these. Points allowed per game. What do you think it is?
It's 9.5.
It's 11.
11. I was going to say, I thought it'd be right around 10. I didn't know if they'd be in single digits or not.
Last year, this Buckeye defense averaged 11.2 points per game against. Tackles for loss.
Because if you're scoring that much, you're not possessing the ball because you're scoring fast. So the team's getting a lot of at-bats.
Tackles for loss this year set at 98.5. Buckeyes with only 72 last year.
I think there'll be more this year. I think they'll be more aggressive. Third year in the system, obviously very veteran defense. I like that.
One more to go here. That would be interceptions. Ohio State tied for 112th last year with only 7 picks. Over-under this year set at 14. Double up on the number.
Oh, my gosh. That's a lot. That's one a game, basically. I don't know if I can go with that. I would say over 10, but 14.
10 good number, double digits for these guys?
Yeah, I think that's possible.
Fun over-under again. You can head to 11 Warriors and look at that stuff. Spencer Holbrook of Lettermen Row. He's going to join the program. We're going to break down the Buckeyes' first game, week of the season, with him coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Happy Monday. Right now, we are not watching any crashes across your central Ohio interstates. Watching things pick up in a couple spots, including on I-71 near downtown and on 33 on the southeast side. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Welcome to Nada Yada Island. This season on Nada Yada Island. You were charging your phone? I waited hours for you.
That's how long it takes.
Join Metro and get a free Motorola Edge that'll charge for the day in 15 minutes. At Metro, there's no activation fees. Only at Metro by T-Mobile.
Bring your number ID and sign up for Metro Flex Plus plan. Offer not available if at T-Mobile or have been with Metro in the past 180 days. Requires 68-watt charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary.
Hey, you've reached Teresa and Benny. You know the drill.
Hey Teresa, it's Armando from Chase. Congrats on closing. I'm sure Benny will love playing fetch in your new backyard.
Your Chase Home Lending Advisor will be there from pre-approval to closing. We're with you all the way home. Chase, make more of what's yours. Visit chase.com/home. Home lending products subject to credit and property approval. Rates and program terms subject to change. Other restrictions apply. Member FDIC. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey folks, Bobby Carpenter here. If you're ready to tackle any adventure, check out these unbeatable offers from Germain Toyota. Get behind the wheel of a rugged Toyota Tundra with 0% financing for 60 months. Yeah, that's right, 0%. Or if you're looking for something a bit more compact but just as awesome, lease the all-new 2024 Toyota Tacoma for just $329 a month for 36 months. These deals are rolling out so fast, so don't wait. Visit Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road or online at germaintoyota.net.
You want Jersey Mike's signature sub, you get a number 13 original Italian. You want a dramatic radio idea? You get me. Like this. I'm the 7th-string quarterback and the other 6 quarterbacks go down. The coach yells, DeVito, you're in. The crowd is worried until I throw a touchdown. But the other team is celebrating. Apparently, I threw the Jersey Mike's number 13 original Italian I was eating on the sidelines. Whoops. The number 13 original Italian, Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Friday nights mean high school football. Join us for the fans' high school game of the week.
This week, Canal Winchester at Hilliard-Davidson.
Live coverage starts Friday night at 6. Your home for Friday Night Lights. The Fan.
Okay, I'm ready to record my jewelry store's new radio spot. I got a great script that really goes after Diamonds Direct and how they're nothing special and how we can match their price. Great stuff.
Oh, great. We have this new technology that bleeps out any false claims, so it saves us time with editing. So you can start anytime.
Okay, here goes. When you visit our jewelry store, we'll guarantee direct. Our diamonds come straight. We have cutters and... Hey, what the?
The hard truth is that other jewelry stores simply can't do what Diamonds Direct can. Diamonds Direct has special relationships with De Beers, international connections, and virtually unlimited buying power. The result is true direct importer pricing, exceptional quality, and up to 30 times the diamond selection you find at other stores.
I can't believe this thing won't let me say...
Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get more truth at diamondsdirect.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. Feelgreatcolumbus.com. The Fan.
a radio show hosted by two former football players, one slightly more successful than the other. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Here's Long here, little Monday edition of the program. Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. And right now we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Checking with our great friend of Lettermen Row. He is Spencer Holbrook. Spence, thanks for the time, buddy. Always appreciate it. Game week here for Ohio State. Spencer, 3:30 Saturday afternoon. Buckeyes and Akron tussling for the first game of the season. Spence, just your expectations heading in here to week number 1 for the Buckeyes, and which has been a very rapid offseason for this program.
Yeah, I expect it to be, well, first of all, I expect it to be kind of, raucous in the crowd, even for the Akron game, just because of the expectations of this team. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun. I hope that that's what it is. I hope fans, really pack the place for opening day. Second of all, I expect a show from Ohio State. I think that this is going to be the time where the Buckeyes kind of come out, and it's not going to be like last year, the 23-3 over Indiana. It's not going to be like the season openers that you kind of just, feel out, learn who you are. I think they're going to put on a little bit of a show to remind people of how good this roster is, and I'm really, really excited to get in the horseshoe on Saturday.
You get any worries when you see Florida State falling to Georgia Tech, SMU getting challenged by Nevada at all?
Yeah, I mean, that's weird, right? You see a couple teams that you expect to be a little better falter. We actually did our staff picks at Lettermen Row, and we had to submit them by Friday. I picked Florida State to win the ACC, and I look like a complete idiot on Saturday, so that's always fun. If I look like an idiot because Ohio State's, struggling against Akron, then I'll take that L. But I don't expect that to be the case. But it does kind of make you think, that's interesting, especially that Florida State game, 14 total possessions. I don't know if that's because of the in-helmet comms and slowing the game down or what, but that's got you kind of scratching your head and wondering if that's how this thing's going to be this year.
Spencer, as we get into the teeth of the season, I think we're anticipating and expecting this identity to be a little bit different for the Ohio State offense this year. What are you expecting? I know that Ryan Day has kind of used the term for a couple of years in a row, like trying to find her fastball, right? Like they're trying to find something reliable. What to you is going to be the identity of this 2024 Buckeye team?
Yeah, Ryan Day said that he kind of picked the identity there earlier in August. He wanted them to be the hardest playing and hardest working team. I don't know if you can really see that on the field, but I do think they're going to be a run-first operation. I think that'll be the identity, and I don't think that you got to worry about, run first downs, run second down, pass third down, not that. But I think they're going to be tougher. I think they're going to be hard-nosed. I think they're going to establish the line of scrimmage and then beat you where they've got all that skill talent amassed. And with Trey and with Quinshawn, you can kind of do that throughout the game and just lean on people, pound on people, and then hit them over the top with the idea that you have the receivers that they have. So that's what I expect kind of the offensive identity will be to take shots in play action, do things. Get Will Howard moving and get him comfortable, but really make sure that you're establishing the run first and foremost, and never forget the run. Because I think there's been times the last couple of years where Ohio State has kind of forgotten, that you can run the football.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to kind of see how that goes. Anything you'd be excited to kind of hear? I know Ryan spoke to the media. There was availability Saturday after the scrimmage. Anything that you took from that, whether it's from Will or Ryan or Jim Knowles, whoever of any interesting things that they potentially said?
Yeah, I'm intrigued by this tight end position, Bob, because you don't want to loose end. Yeah, no, nobody wants that, especially on football game week. But with Will Kacmarek, he gets to play 2 MAC teams to start his Ohio State career where he comes from the MAC. So he should be comfortable enough to get his feet wet at Ohio State. And you got G. Scott, who, we've been expecting a breakout from him the last couple of years. Does it finally happen for him? Everybody loves talking about Jelani Thurman and what he could bring to the table. Can he emerge? And then I got to tell you guys, I really like Bennett Christian. A third-year guy, suspended all year last year with a banned substance. Had to go against Jack and JT all year last year when he was on the scout team. And you better grow up quick if you're going to go against those guys every day in practice. And he did it. And Keenan Bailey called him a word that I can't say. He's tough as something. But I thought that was intriguing because if you're going to be a run-first outfit, you're going to want 12 personnel on the field run the football. That's another guy who can. So I'm intrigued by the Bennett Christian emergence and just the tight end position in general. Can they kind of take that mantle from Cade Stover and run with it and replace him, I guess, in the aggregate?
He is Spencer Holbrook of Lettermen Row with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We're all excited to see the Buckeye offense, Spence, but this Buckeye defense, I think, again, expectations just to be clamped down, nasty, physical. Last year, Spencer, they were good for second in the country for total points per game allowed at 11.2. If I were to ask you for this coming season, will the Buckeyes of 2024 and their defensive unit be better than what they were last year in that category? Would you say yes or no?
I would say yes, but not by much.
But you can't be that much.
I think but I think you're going to get into games where Oregon might score 28, 35 points on you, but you're going to be able to score more on them, because I think that might be a game where the offenses kind of get going and then they start scoring a little bit. Penn State could score a little bit more than they did last year. I don't think Michigan's going to score 30 on you like they did last year, but then you go the other side of that, and Western Michigan, I don't expect Western Michigan to score, more than 7, maybe even a shutout. It's really, really hard to shut a team out. Akron, I don't think Akron's going to score unless something crazy happens or, the sky starts falling. So, that's Chicken where Little? You get that balance. Yeah, Chicken Little. Bob's going to be on the field in the horseshoe. You're not going to want to miss it. But that's where I think that this defense gets all of its, points per game lowered, is in the non-con, because those 3 non-cons are so bad. Michigan State's not going to be very good. You got Northwestern and Indiana. So, the points per game could be down in the single digits. I think Michigan did it last year. It wouldn't surprise me if Ohio State does it this year, even if you get into a little bit of a shootout type game against an Oregon or a Penn State.
So let me ask you this. How excited are you? I know we're jumping week 1, not to besmirch the Zips, but to wait all day long for a potential shutout against Western Michigan.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be electric, an electric factory. At least on Saturday, Archie's going to dot the I. It's going to be opening day. It's going to be nice. And, get up, do whatever you need to do in the morning, and then you can head to the horseshoe. For that Western Michigan game, it's hurry up and wait all day. And, that's
I heard if you drink more, it becomes more entertaining. At least that's what your Aunt Karen told me.
I heard if you drink more and you do what I do, you get fired. So,
I don't know about that. I've seen some people do that, and they're still around.
Now, Bob, we're not going to name any names here, but no, I'm gonna test the limits of sobriety in a good way and be as sober as I can be for Western Michigan, because it's too important of a game for me to walk in there half lit and enjoying myself. I got to enjoy the Buckeyes.
As long as you're not too drunk for the chat GPT to understand you, you'll be fine, Spence.
There you go. New technology helping everybody.
Hey, before we get you out of here, Bobby just mentioned it. You are the nephew of Aunt Karen Holbrook.
Absolute drunken orgies.
I mean, are we excited to be?
First weekend back in school?
Yes, Spence. First weekend back. We got tailgates galore this Saturday. Beautiful 85-degree day. Pinned for Saturday afternoon over at the Horseshoe. I mean, what are you expecting from the droves and droves of Buckeye fans for week 1?
Yeah, Aunt Karen already told me that it was an absolute drunken orgy when she went to Target, there at Lenox, because it's such a mess with all the students back. You can't even imagine. She's sitting on pins and needles waiting to see what the tailgate scene's like. It's not going to be that bad, I don't think, for Akron. But even 3:30 games, so you get a little bit of time to start in the morning. But that Western Michigan game is going to be a disaster, because the folks who are staying for that full game are going to have to be drunk to want to watch the fourth quarter. And so they're going to definitely take advantage of the 7:30 kickoff whenever they get a chance to, because we just don't get very many of those anymore. So first couple weeks of the season, Aunt Karen's going to have her hands full trying to patrol the tailgate scene.
The only people that will be there for the fourth quarter of that are the people that felt passed out in their seats for Western Michigan.
Well, and the media, Bob, you don't forget it. We'll be there in droves, making sure that we're covering every angle of the Buckeyes.
Buddy, always appreciate the time. Have a fantastic week. Enjoy game week number 1. Be back in the Horseshoe, and we'll check in again, Spence, all right?
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
There you go. Spencer Holbrook, Lettermen Row with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline.
Well, fall is officially here with the start of football season, so winter is just around the corner. I know we don't want to think about it, but a lot of us last winter had ridiculously high heating bills. Did nothing about it, and our homes were freezing. You probably didn't do anything about it this summer as well. Listen, go check out my friends over at Pella, the window that Columbus voted #1 for leading and most trusted window brand. They're here giving you a reason to think about it now. They've got a fantastic offer, good through the end of August here, so you got to get on it. You get 60 months, 0% financing, or 50% off qualifying installations. Like I said, good through the end of the month of August. So go check them out at PellaColumbus.com. That's PellaColumbus.com.
We're going to get juiced on a Monday. Coming up next, Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Happy Monday. Right now, we are not watching any crashes across your central Ohio interstates. Watching things pick up in a couple spots, including on I-71 near downtown and on 33 on the southeast side. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
The Columbus Men's Clinic opened in 2014 for guys who get it done. Let's talk, fellas. You solve problems all day at work. You fix your sink when it's broken. But when it comes to ED and low T, it doesn't get done. We get it. You hate going to the doctor, but you're the guy that fixes things. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, there's nothing to fear and no reason to delay. We've been destroying bedroom boredom for a decade. So if you haven't fixed this, call us. When the pills fail, call us. If you feel like you've tried everything, call us. Here, there's hope. From the conventional to the next level. You'll be seen by our friendly, discreet physician who will take the time to listen. Imagine finally taking care of this with no surgery. Imagine going from feeling gray to living life in vibrant color. It's time to be confident. Join the thousands of guys who have found success after walking through our doors. Will you be one of them? Dial 614-300-7400 or go to ColumbusMen'sClinic.com to schedule a $99 male performance consultation, including blood work. Do it for you. Do it for her. ColumbusMen'sClinic.com. Book your appointment now.
Hey, welcome to IKEA's Complete Sleep Event. Don't miss dreamy offers on sleep essentials.
I've tried carrying sheep, but keep losing track.
We've got you. IKEA family members save 15% off your purchase of $300 or more on select sleep comfort items. Plus, we're throwing a pajama party in-store on August 31st. Wear your favorite PJs for a free breakfast.
Ooh, we have matching PJs.
Don't wait. Go to IKEA-USA.com/bettersleep or visit your local store today. Offer valid August 7th through September 10th. U.S. only. See store and IKEA-USA.com for full details and eligible items. Restrictions apply.
Delaware County Veterans Services invites you to visit the Wall That Heals from September 12th through the 15th at Havner Park in Liberty Township. Pay homage to those that have served in the Vietnam War. The Wall That Heals is free and open to the public. To learn more, please visit thewallthathealsohio.com.
It's the summer sell down at Performance. Get up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 24 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees during the Make This the Summer of Jeep event. Performance Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, Georgesville and Delaware.
Not valid on previous sales. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock 8/20 to 8/31/24.
The season is finally here. The Buckeyes open up the 2024 campaign against Akron.
Buckeye Game Day is sponsored by Reichert Ford.
Live fan coverage starts Saturday at 10 with a kick at 3:30. Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan.
Wake up. Breakfast. And Nature Made vitamins. Whatever your morning sounds like, Nature Made fits right in. Whether you're looking for vitamin C or a multivitamin to get key nutrients, we've got you covered. Now that's a good morning. We take care of you so you can take on your day. Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Find savings to celebrate this Labor Day with one stop at Meijer. Pick up fresh from Meijer 80% lean ground beef family pack for $2.99 per pound, limit 5. And fresh from Meijer family pack boneless, skinless chicken breast for $2.49 per pound. Get a large whole seedless watermelon for $3.99. Meijer chips 3 for $5. And buy 5, save $5 on some additional Labor Day must-haves. Get everything you need to celebrate the holiday and save. Exclusions apply. See all deals in-store or in the Meijer app.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BREAK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BREAK to 321-321. That's BREAK to 321-321.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Skies are clear and sunny today. We're starting off on the mild side. Temperatures in the 60s this morning. We'll see highs this afternoon reach the 90s once again. Back to 95 today for your high. Make sure you pack some extra water. It's going to be feeling more like 97 through the afternoon. I'm meteorologist Madison Reich with your weather impact forecast on The Fan.
Want to know anything about the Fan's contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Heading to work? Keep listening to the guys at the office.
Stream the show at 971thefan.com or download the Fan app.
This is Morning Juice.
We here on The Juice are brought to you by our good friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can, of course, visit them online at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Bob, Monday. Football season's here. Week 0's already in the bag. Week 1 of high school football's done. What's got you fired up today?
Oh, man, the fact that we are on the precipice, like you said, it's just Akron, but it's still football week. Getting to watch that Florida State-Georgia Tech game, I was hoping it was going to be good. I couldn't remember what I did all day after my show.
I got drunk and watched football.
My XM show out. Yeah, I did. And I'm sitting there watching the thing. I was like, this is really good. This thing is tremendous. I watched my son play a little freshman football, came home. It was halftime, like tied up. I like this. And so that got me juiced up in a big way. I had a big weekend of football. I forget. Son had a freshman game on Saturday. He had flag football on Sunday, a little tackle football on Sunday, soccer, lacrosse, tennis match on Thursday. I mean, there was a lot of sports that was coming through the weekend, a very successful weekend for the kids. So that had me juiced up, had me ready to go. The fact that, like I said, we're into a game week. I know how fired up Schlegs is going to be about that, and I get excited to always hear him tomorrow and get that rolling. So that's got me juiced up as well. And then Tim Walton has me juiced up, Shark. The poet, he does, I don't know how often he does this. I think it's maybe once a week during the season, but it's pretty tremendous.
We got a little thought for Thursday. Bring it back. But we put a little funk on it this time. Ego and pride. Ego and pride, very similar where they reside. If not under control, leads to most people's demise. Ego is something we all should try to do without. Unchecked ego will have you acting out. Remember, the acronym for ego is edging God out. Pride is not under control, can affect us all. It surely has led to most people's downfall. So when you have a little downtime and sit back and reflect, make sure you get your pride in check.
One of my favorites. Tim Walton is awesome. Great coach. Does a great job connecting to the guys.
You think we can bring haikus back with Schlegs since we're speaking about poetry?
We could. We could have the Schlegs. Maybe we'll text him, get the Schlegs daily haiku. We'll get that weekly haiku. That's got me juiced, Shark. What's Schlegs got to say?
Right there. Poof, David Copperfield. There's your plan, Big Ten. No need to thank me. I did it in 2 hours. All you need is a whiteboard, a pair of scissors, a monster, and a brain. That's it. That's all you need.
That was 4 years ago when we were worried about having a football season.
That was the worst.
Yeah.
People walking around naked and getting COVID on Zoom.
How do you get COVID naked? You probably get it anywhere.
It's one of the great lines of all time.
Schlegs always puts a little funk on it, like Timmy Walton. The great Russell Brandon. Remember that
Russell
name?
Brand?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Russell Brand.
Russell
Aldous
Brandon.
Snow?
He was drafted by the Cleveland Indians in 1994, finally made it to the major leagues in 1998, and promptly hit 12 home runs in his first 41 games.
Wow.
That's franchise record until yesterday when it was matched by the great John Kensey Noel. Hit his 12th homer in 41 games. You're right, Bean. We call him Big Christmas in Cleveland. Come to think of it, he hit that 12th homer exactly 4 months to the day before Christmas. Big Christmas, celebrating early this year. And here's something that has never, ever happened in baseball, but it's going to happen today. 2 months ago, exactly 2 months ago today, Danny Jansen was in the lineup as the starting catcher for the Blue Jays against Boston. Jansen was at the plate with one out and one on top of the second inning, when the rains came and they delayed the game. They spent an hour and 48 minutes in a rain delay, and they eventually suspended the game. They're going to make up the rest of that game, starting in the second inning, today. In the meantime, before the trade deadline arrived last month, Danny Jansen was traded from the Blue Jays to the Boston Red Sox.
Okay.
Today, he will be in the lineup for the Red Sox. So Dan Jansen becomes the first player in Major League history to play for two different teams in the same game.
How does that even? I mean,
how's that going to look at the box score tomorrow?
Can't he just play for the Blue Jays this game and then the next game play for the Reds?
Go back to Toronto? Yeah. I've heard of guys being traded in between games of a doubleheader.
Yeah.
I've heard of, there was Joel Youngblood who played in two games for two different teams in two different countries one time. He played a day game, got traded that afternoon to Montreal, and he played a night game in Montreal. But this is the first time that one player has appeared for two different teams in the same game.
I remember when a guy got traded and then was a Cleveland Indian at the time and was throwing fisticuffs against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, my God.
When Yasiel Puig got traded, Amir Garrett goes charging into the dugout.
He was going to take on the whole team.
And Yasiel Puig, who at the time was not a Reds player, technically did not get subbed out of the game because the trade had already happened. He was an Indians player at the time.
He didn't know that.
He didn't know that. They didn't pull him out of the game. They should have. And he also goes charging into the dugout. That was one of the crazier moments.
That was a crazy moment. Not a real smart idea to go fighting somebody in that other team's dugout. It's like starting a fight in hockey right in front of the opponent's bench. But anyway, yeah, stick around long enough, Beam. Something happens in baseball that you've never seen before.
Are you going to be watching that?
Maybe you'll see somebody in the same inning hit for both sides.
Oh, man, wouldn't that be great? Yeah, I don't know how that could happen, but
they get traded mid-inning. What are you talking about? You flip it over.
Well, it would have to be.
You drop them in the lineup.
It would have to be a suspended game, like what's happening today. You can't play for. You can't get traded mid-game and go switch dugouts.
Sure, you
switch
can.
uniforms. No.
I watch it all the time in WWE. They peel off that jersey. They got another one underneath.
What's got me juiced is spent the weekend down in Dayton. My grandma, God love her, she's terrific, was actually celebrating my other grandma, my stepmom's birthday on Saturday. She turned 90 as well. I don't know if Bonnie has had very many drinks in her life. Janet, my grandma, my mom's mom, definitely has. So I told you we were playing euchre. She didn't really remember the rules because they played, six-handed euchre. And she's like, okay, yeah, Jack's the big guy. Other Jack's the other big guy. Okay, yeah, kind of got it. And she's feeling her way through the first couple of hands. She gets back-to-back loners, lay-down loners, and then we win the game. And she was drinking Coors Lights on Saturday. She goes, these are good. I was like, yeah, ma'am. So when's the last time you've had one? She's like, I don't know. I usually drink my Mikeys. And I'm like, yeah, you've already had a couple of those today. So on Sunday, I'm going to get Theo to get ready to bring him back to Columbus. I said, how you feeling, ma'ams? She goes, good. What did I have? 2 beers last night? I said, yeah, 3 while we were playing cards. And she goes, oh, I'm going to have a couple more today. They were so smooth. I'm like, you're the best. You're the absolute best. I love her. It was great to spend the weekend with some family down in Dayton. So the last weekend of non-football stuff going on, Bob, we watched the Florida State game. That was fun. Georgia Tech beating them in week 0, which was terrific. But always good to hang out with the family. So really, really awesome weekend before we're going to be locked in here to the Buckeyes for the long, long march, which we're expecting. College football is back. And it's awesome. That's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and happy Monday to you. Right now, 270 picking up on the north side near the 315 split and I-71 near Polaris, but no crashes on the map to tell you about. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
Get your air conditioner fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling, 1-800-COOLING.
Okay, I'm ready to record my jewelry store's new radio spot. I got a great script that really goes after Diamonds Direct and how they're nothing special and how we can match their price. Great stuff.
Oh, great. We have this new technology that bleeps out any false claims, so it saves us time with editing. So you can start anytime.
Okay, here goes. when you visit our jewelry store, we'll guarantee direct. Our diamonds come straight. We have cutters. And, hey, what the?
The hard truth is that other jewelry stores simply can't do what Diamonds Direct can. Diamonds Direct has special relationship with De Beers, international connections, and virtually unlimited buying power. The result is true direct importer pricing, exceptional quality, and up to 30 times the diamond selection you find at other stores.
I can't believe this thing won't let me say.
Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get more truth at diamondsdirect.com.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Ready for a new ride? Swing by Germain Toyota, ask for my friend Marcello, and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit GermainToyota.net and drive away in style today. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to now.
At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything, like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports.
Good morning, I'm Mark the Shark. The Crew has won the League's Cup Championship, beating LAFC in the Cup Final last night 3-1 in Columbus. The go-ahead score and clinching goal both came in stoppage time. Cucho Hernandez scored a pair of goals for the Crew. In baseball, the Reds overcame a 2-run deficit and scored the go-ahead run on a bases-loaded walk in the seventh, but with one out in the bottom of the ninth, Yasmani Grandal hit a walk-off 2-run homer to give the Pirates a dramatic 4-3 win over Cincinnati. The Reds are just 3-7 against Pittsburgh this season. In Cleveland, John Kensey Noel and David Fry both hit solo homers as the Guardians beat Texas 4-2. Matthew Boyd picked up his first win since June of last year before he had Tommy John surgery. In golf, Keegan Bradley won the BMW Championship by one stroke over Adam Scott, Sam Burns, and Ludwig Oberg. The Sports Center is sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus, Central Ohio's F-150 truck headquarters, and official dealership of wide receiver Carnell Tate.
Keep on swiping that card, baby. Keep on swiping that card. Charge it to winning. This is Morning Juice.
Hour number 3 of the program for us on a Monday. Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark coming up here. 24 hours away from right now, Schleggs. He's going to join the program again on the wraparound. He's also going to join us tomorrow at 6:35. And then at 8:35 today, as he does every single Monday, Joshua Perry, he's going to join the program. We'll talk some college ball with him.
Keeping you informed about what's trending this morning. It's time for a little re-rack on Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus, your destination for top-of-the-line grills with up to 30-year warranties. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Crew get another trophy added to the trophy case. 3-1 victors over LAFC last night. Get another trophy. Cucho, 2 goals and an assist. We'll talk a little bit more about them coming up here in our next segment. Guards winners 2 out of 3 against the Rangers. Home against the Royals. Day-night doubleheader today up in Cleveland, Sharky. So they got that going for them as nice. They also extended the lead in the AL Central. They are back to now 3 games above both Kansas City and Minnesota, correct?
Feeling better, but, they play 4 against Kansas City this week in Cleveland and then 3 next week in Kansas City. So a couple of big series coming up.
Why don't you just win all 8 of those?
A chance to put some
7.
distance.
Why don't you win all 7 of those?
4 plus 3 is 7.
Yep, you're right.
What is amazing, yesterday the Guards scored the first run of the game. It's just the second time in the last 20 games that they have scored first. They've been playing from behind almost every night. It was good to get a lead.
Yeah. It's always good to get a lead.
I thought you had something else more profound to say after that.
I thought we were getting
It was good to get a lead and then drop something in there.
I bet you the White Sox have had the lead in the last 20 games more than the Guardians.
Well, they also have more loss and are on track to have more losses than any team ever.
Gosh, that would really be a good feeling to know you're part of one of the losingest team all time in a sport that's over 100 years old.
It's older than that. I mean, we're talking just the live ball era is over 100 years old, right, Shark?
That's right, Beam. 1901. Well, not the live ball era, but the modern. What they call
game.
modern.
What do we call it? What was before that? The dead ball era?
Well, anything before, back in the day, before I was.
What was it like watching the dead ball era, Shark?
It wasn't much fun because, Bob, they would have like one baseball for the whole game. It'd get the crap beat out. But there was a time.
There was a foul. What'd you do? Have to wait for someone to throw it back in?
There was a time when they used to pitch underhand, and there was a time when they didn't use gloves. So
there's a time when they didn't wear helmets, and that guy for the Tribe got hit and killed.
Yeah, that's right. Ray Chapman.
They used to wear leather helmets in football.
Yeah.
No face masks.
Those leather helmets weren't very padded either.
No, they weren't.
There's probably less injuries than there are today, though.
Reds lose 3 out of 4 in Pittsburgh. Walk-off winner.
On brand.
Yeah, walk-off winner. The closer's been great this year and took a 1-run lead into the 9th and plunked a guy and then walk-off homer. So
this is interesting, too. Alexis Diaz, the closer for the Reds, he got beat on a walk-off yesterday in the bottom of the 9th. And his brother, Edwin Diaz, the closer for the Mets, got beat by the Padres.
Really?
On a walk-off homer in the bottom of the 9th.
Not really following the Mets
Bad
this year.
day for the Diazes.
Yeah, that's a tough day. I did see another walk-off, Bob. The Little League World Series was yesterday. Florida took down Chinese Taipei to win their first state, well, they won the Little League World Series, but it's the first championship for Florida in that competition. And the way that they did it, so the game was tied, it went to extra innings. What was it? Was it 1-1, Shark? I think, or 2?
Yes.
Was it
in
1-1?
fact, Florida scored with 2 outs in the 6th, the last inning. 1 out to go in the game, and they scored the tying run.
So they did that, and then the way that they won the game was the player who was up at the in the batter's box. He laid down a bunt. So pitcher and first baseman converge on the ball. Pitcher gets there first, throws it to first. Nobody's there. And so runner who was on first was on second, made it all the way around to score the game-winning run in the 8th inning.
It was the Manfred Man.
They do the Manfred Man in the Little League World Series?
They put a man on second.
Oh, what are we? Why are
extra innings?
We're ruining these kids' brains.
No, are you serious?
Seriously. The Manfred Man decided the Little League World Series.
Come on. That's terrible. I mean, I'm glad that Florida won, but still, that's terrible. Seahawks 37, Browns 33. Sharky, how you feeling? Stefanski, Andrew Barry saying that we're good to go. You guys are getting...
We have 3 starting tackles.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 tackles, healthy tackles, allegedly. No, the over-under is 8.5
for wins
for the Browns on FanDuel.
What would you take?
I put $10 on the over about 2 weeks ago, and I cashed out my $10 over the weekend.
Did you then put
I'm
it on?
I'm not optimistic.
Did you then put it on the under, or did you just?
I didn't.
You just saving them off.
I just decided to save my $10.
Okay.
Put $5 on the Bears under beam. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to do that to you.
That's okay.
Shark, I might put $10 on the over and parlay that with a Watson Pro Bowl.
Ooh. What about an All-Pro? You going to go that far?
I'm not going to.
Not going to do that?
It's going to look really bad if Baker makes another Pro Bowl this year and Deshaun doesn't.
Pro Bowl? I mean, we're talking about playoffs. Playoffs. Baker made the playoffs last year, won a playoff game. Deshaun, I guess, was on the Browns, but wasn't really a big part in them making the playoffs.
No.
Right?
No.
And that was the Flacco magic. And
Maybe.
DTR and who else did the Browns? Who else did the Browns play last year?
They had 5 starting quarterbacks last year.
Who were they all?
Watson,
Flacco, DTR. I get a little bit fuzzy after that.
They brought in a guy to start week 17, a veteran.
Yep. Jeff Driscoll.
Jeff Driscoll.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say Jeff George.
How did we forget P.J. Walker last year?
Oh, yeah. We played P.J. on Saturday in Seattle. He's now with the Seahawks.
How'd you guys look on Saturday? I didn't catch a lick of that football game.
I watched the whole thing. And
You're sick.
I know. I've
watched less preseason football this year than ever.
I watched 3 games, the 3 Browns games, and that was it.
I mean, I get most of my preseason football now from Hard Knocks. Like I just.
And you're not really. I mean,
there's nothing to it anymore. Like you hardly play. Some of the teams will play their guys, but you're talking about 3 or 4 teams out of 32. I'm like, it's just not giving me anything. I understand if you're not playing stars and this and that, but they're not playing anyone.
How are you liking Hard Knocks so far? You like it?
I'm only 2 episodes in. I got to catch the 3rd.
It's okay.
And they've dropped in the 4th tomorrow or Tuesday, right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
It's been good so far. I mean, it's all right. I mean,
no cussing.
I don't mind that because I can watch them with my kids. And It's not bleep this, bleep that, everything else. Like, I don't mind a little profanity in there, but I don't need Rex Ryan either. Like, there's a happy
Coach
medium.
for the Falcons a couple of years ago was just blank this, blank that.
Was it Arthur Smith?
Too blank and scared, no.
Too drunk to face this chicken.
No,
Kenny
it was one of
Rogers.
their special teams coordinators.
Oh,
I
okay.
think. He was just screaming. He was just like,
Those
last
guys
time
are
I checked,
usually-
you're not a gold jacket guy. What, loaf? Like, that was a great speech that guy gave. College football over the weekend, Georgia Tech 24, Florida State 21. Game 1 of the season, Bob. Game 1 of the season in Dublin, Ireland. Georgia Tech, another upset. I wouldn't call it a monumental upset. What was the point spread down to like?
They were 10.5 dogs. At one point, it was 14 over the summer.
Okay.
And
it kept climbing and climbing down, too.
Yeah, I told someone, I think it'll be closer. I think they might get a backdoor cover. Next thing you know, it's 14-0. Listen, that was with Georgia Tech missing a field goal that should have been made.
40-some yarder, right?
Yeah, I mean, a very makeable field goal. I mean, hell, did you watch the end of that beam?
Yeah.
They're on the final drive. Shark, did you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, they freaking blow a snap. I'm like, you're in field goal range. And then we're snapping it, losing 9 yards. Quarterback's trying to pick it up. I'm like, they're going to blow this thing. And, I mean, the ACC, Doug Phillips, was probably just like, this is worst case scenario.
Absolutely.
We lost one of our national championship contenders, lost to Georgia Tech. Schlags at number 44 playing middle linebacker for him. I mean,
that guy was great.
He was
neck
Schlags.
roll.
Dude, he
violent, playing downhill.
Looked amazing. Super stiff. But you know what? Inside the box, if you're not going to throw it, he's going to go in there and start laying waste to folks.
I mean, it was fantastic. So Georgia Tech, yeah.
He threw some good balls. Everybody
Just
a couple.
didn't throw very many down the field.
Yeah.
He just kept throwing these 5-10 yard
And that may have been
routes.
what was on, like how they scripted it. I mean, he missed a couple guys down the field when they did throw it. They hit a couple. He hit a couple nice crossers, but I mean, nothing really to write home about.
Yeah, for sure. So, and it doesn't help their case last year and then again, last year, forget about it, whatever. The fact that they were left out of the playoffs. And
this is a good feeling.
And then you turn around and get beat by Georgia Tech. Like that stinks for them. And then
it's okay. They're 0-2 against the last 2 teams in Georgia.
And the other ACC favorite, Clemson, like this weekend, you have to play Georgia. You play Georgia this week. And
there's a good chance your 2 best teams will be 0-2.
And that is either 13.5 or 14.5 spread for that game. And that one's being played down in Atlanta. So it'll be home field for the Dogs. I know Clemson's not far away.
And maybe Georgia, I think Georgia Tech's better than what people think, but I don't. When you bring in these massive amounts of transfers,
what was the total number for Florida State?
It was a lot, dude.
30.
They lost so much, and so that's the problem: is continuity of getting guys together and getting them ready to go. Like that's not easy. It's not an easy task. You got a number for me there, Bean?
I'm trying to find the number, Bob. Scroll. Number of transfers that they brought in. This article doesn't have it.
Yeah,
so
but they hype it up.
Churning.
It's okay. I'll fill some time here for you, Bean. But when you look at Florida State, they brought in all these transfers, like trying to bring that together, the continuity. My number is 10%. If more than 10% of your roster in any given year is being made up of transfers, you got some issues. And I'll give you some leeway if you're a first-year head coach, because maybe you're trying to turn the roster over and you're doing some stuff and guys have left and whatever. But if you're bringing in 85 scholarships, if you're bringing in many more than 9 guys, that is a lot.
17 incoming transfers, 22 outgoing.
There you go.
That is a grand total of 39 transfers for them.
Yeah. I mean, that's the portal giveth, the portal taketh. And so that's what they have to deal with, and that's not a good situation. And it manifested itself. Like, you could see there wasn't a great deal of continuity on that field on Saturday over in London or Ireland.
That looked sweet, too.
But I did
that
see
place
the
looked
Florida
awesome.
State dudes doing their little Irish jig beforehand. And then
I saw that.
That's out of there on the line.
Yeah, saw that.
Sure, the coaches loved that after they got their butts whipped.
Yeah, so they got that going for them. That stadium did look sweet. Like
It
where they
did.
were playing, it looked awesome. And the weather, too, was
I was envious. I was talking on my XM show on Saturday. It's like, you know what? I'm not envious of like football a lot. I don't miss it a ton because I get to be around it a lot. But I go, warming up before a big game like that, especially doing something that you would never otherwise have the opportunity to do. Like, I had to play in Wembley. It's like, when else am I going to get to do this?
Yeah, never.
And I was like warming up, like, this is awesome. You know, even when I was playing in the old Meadowlands where my dad played, like, you have these big games that you know are going to be iconic. Like, all right, especially early in the season when you're healthy and you're not like
bang week 12.
Okay, this is going to be a psychological grind because I know every time I try to open up big time, my hamstring's going to hurt or my ankle's going to hurt.
Oh, yeah, by the way, next
shoulder.
Sunday you're back. You're playing the Seahawks in Seattle.
Don't need that. But I'm like, those games, opening up the season, feeling good. We opened up here with Washington, which we replayed. I got out of my silo. We were replaying, I think, last
Buckeye replay?
Saturday or Sunday, whenever we do those on the weekends. And it was awesome listening to that. And our offense sounded so prolific. I mean, we went on to set some records for futility later that year, but we sounded good to open up the season.
It was great to have college football back this week. The weather, too, was terrific because at one point it was sunny and then it was pouring rain and disgusting. And then 5 minutes after that, it was sunny again. It was classic, like, Ireland weather right there. It's all you need to know about it. But yeah, Georgia Tech got it done 24-21, week 0. Hopefully on to a much bigger and better week number 1, but not a great weekend for the ACC and Florida State. The Crew have added to their trophy collection yet again. That's next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning and happy Monday. Right now we're watching a crash on I-70 westbound right around James Road. Expect to be slow moving in those westbound lanes as you approach the 70-33 split. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
Coming this Labor Day weekend, Bob's biggest challenge yet. It's time to dare to compare. It's got action. It's got suspense. It's got beeps and boops and dings and whomps and more savings than you'll believe on living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, mattresses, and more. And best of all, you get to play too this Labor Day weekend. Now open in Reynoldsburg and coming soon to Polaris. See how much you can save this Labor Day weekend when you dare to compare at a Bob's near you.
When you ask people here what's the one thing that makes Diamonds Direct their favorite jeweler, for some, it's the unbeatable pricing we get through our direct importer. No middleman connections. The foundation of our business since day one. For others, it's the uncompromising quality. From hand-selected diamonds to handcrafted designer rings. Only the best of the best. Some people put selection at the top of their list, as Diamonds Direct offers up to 30 times the options you expect from a typical jewelry retailer. For some, it's our luxurious showroom with diamond experts who genuinely care about your experience and happiness and who are empowered to do whatever it takes for you. Others rave about Diamonds Direct's unmatched warranties and guarantees that include free service for life and an extraordinary 110% diamond upgrade promise. But you know the most often answer we get when asking what makes Diamonds Direct stand out? It's not one thing, it's everything. Diamonds Direct. Value, luxury, choices, and confidence. Get directions, hours, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Jeremy Foltz, CEO and co-founder of 3C Technology Solutions, speaks about working with First Bank of Central Ohio.
I think FBCO had a really nice personal touch. Transition was really easy and much cleaner than I thought it would be. Some very specific things that made me very excited to work with them are availability and creativity.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown dumb since day one. The Fan.
Your husband is pretty handy to have around. He makes the world's best mac and cheese.
Lunch is ready.
He's in the Tickle Monster Hall of Fame. And he can teach anyone how to throw strikes. But a busted pipe and a basement full of water?
Honey, I think we need a plumber.
Is a little out of his league. That's where a homeowner's policy from Shelter Insurance comes in handy. We'll help get your house back in order and your husband back to what he does best.
Find an agent at shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
I'm Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
At Pella, we use the newest technology to show you exactly how new windows would look on your home.
Well, we keep it simple at our window place. We use a number 2 pencil to draw what your house will look like with our new windows. See?
Oh, yeah. That definitely looks like a number 2.
Thank you, Leslie. Wait, I see what you did there.
Get the windows that Columbus homeowners rate the leading and most trusted at PellaColumbus.com.
2 hours ago, Kyle arrived at the bar.
Hey, what's everyone drinking?
30 minutes ago, Kyle got his friends another round of drinks.
Cheers!
5 minutes ago, Kyle decided to drive home drunk. A minute ago, a law enforcement officer pulled up behind Kyle.
Sir, have you been drinking tonight?
A chain of events that began 2 hours ago is about to change Kyle's whole world. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Skies are clear and sunny today. Temperatures rising fast. We're starting in the 60s. We'll end the day in the 90s. Columbus topping out at 95 degrees, but with some humidity, it's going to feel more like 97. So pack that extra water. I'm meteorologist Madison Reich with your weather impact forecast on The Fan.
FanDuel is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Morning Juice. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/juice. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
What's the going rate for a good babysitter? Also, Shark needs a raise. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Well, Monday edition of the program. Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Coming up here in our next segment, 8:35, Joshua Perry. He's going to join the program. Talk all things Buckeyes and college football coming up with him. Before we get to the crew and their another trophy hanging ceremony. Not trophy, that'd be banner hanging. Trophy collecting.
I don't know.
I got those two confused. Anyways, the NCAA has formally issued notice of allegations to Michigan. Both Michigan and the NCAA did confirm that yesterday, that the Wolverines had received a notice of allegations from the NCAA concerning its sign stealing scandal, giving Michigan 90 days to respond before the case heads to the Committee on Infractions. Now, earlier this month, Bob, we got the idea that this was going to happen. That wasn't official. Now they are officially handed it down. So what does that mean? Why does this matter? So
starts the clock.
A couple of weeks ago was the handing down of the punishments for the level 2 or level 1 recruiting violations for the COVID policies, right? Like that was a different thing. What this is the Connor Stallion stuff. So this is the start of the shot clock. Michigan has 90 days to respond before the case heads to the Committee on Infractions. Then I believe the NCAA has 30 days to respond to like their response. So 120 days minimum until we find anything out, which we probably won't find anything out 4 months away from yesterday. But still, that was out there. That happened. Pete Thamel, the formal notice of allegation is mostly unchanged from the draft notice that we had talked about earlier in August.
Curious when we're going to get, like, is that all out there? I mean, can we find this on the line yet, Beam? I mean, with what, or is there just little leaks of what is in the notice of allegation?
No, this was the notice of allegations. This was the leak that Michigan head coach Sharon Moore is one of the 7 members of the 2023 football program accused of violating NCAA rules in a draft of the notice of allegations. The draft, which could be subject to change, which he said it was mostly unchanged from this, states that Moore could face a show cause penalty and possible suspension for allegedly deleting a thread of 52 text messages with former Michigan staffer Connor Stallions.
But there's nothing else in there alleging what had happened. I mean, that's all we're seeing right now.
Yeah, the draft states the texts were later recovered using device imaging. subsequently produced them to enforcement staff. Moore is accused of committing a level 2 violation, which would then make them repeat offenders, him and Harbaugh. But I think, Bob, that's like about it. I don't think we got any like new stuff that's in there.
I wonder if anything comes out about that.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. But we'll keep an eyeball on that. But it was just notice of allegations. There's nothing really else to say other than Michigan has 90 days, and then the NCAA on top of that has 30 days.
Yep, and to respond. And so I'm curious if any of that stuff leaks out, what we see from that, how Michigan chooses to respond. You know, we talked to Bill Bender at 6:33 like we do every Monday, and him talking like if it's – he was saying that if they're not severe, ridiculously punitive penalties, that he thinks Michigan should and probably would just accept them. It's been 2 years all this has been dragging on, or 2 seasons. Do you want this to drag into a third if you choose to fight it in court? And a lot of that's going to be dependent upon what the punishment looks like.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's really nothing to say. I saw Nicole Auerbach say this. Most of what has previously been reported from ESPN regarding the draft remains the same. Jesse Minter and Denard Robinson are working with the NCAA on a negotiated resolution, so it's a split case. The rest will go to the committee. One other difference, Michigan's earlier case involving COVID-era recruiting violations has now been resolved by the NCAA, so now Jim Harbaugh and Sharon Moore can be considered repeat violators, which is usually a harsher punishment for the repeat violators than
considering they're repeat violators, at least Sharon would be. I mean, he's still coaching, but within like the same calendar year.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I don't know how these penalties look.
Me either.
I don't know if they're going to. If you're an Ohio State fan, if you feel like justice was done, I don't think you'll ever get that. The biggest acknowledgement you'll be able to see is like, hey, they did some things that were crazy against the rules. And I'm curious, like, if they outline specifically, not just the text messages, but what was going on, the confirmation that was Counter Stallions on the western or central Michigan sideline during the game, like all these different things that they allegedly did. I think people are going to want to know and have it kind of clearly detailed and spelled out of what was agreed to and what they can prove.
We've been big Leagues Cup guys the whole time it was going on. I mean, I've shared my affinity for this cup, Bob. Absolutely loved it from day number one. Not really, but the crew got a fast pass into the round of 32 because you were the defending cup champion. So you had to buy, and every game that you played was going to be at home. Got through the round of 32, then you got to the 16. Down from there, had a cup final last night in Columbus against LAFC. Everybody coming in, the broadcasters on the Apple TV broadcast, and it was on Univision too. My stepdad texted me, he's like, I don't have Apple TV, where can I watch the game? I'm like, I think it's on Univision. He's like, I don't know Spanish. I'm like, the game is the same. You don't really need to understand the broadcasters, so you'll be fine.
Well, you could have told him, Beam, to mute it and just listen to it on the fan.
Right, that's true.
We had it on last night.
We don't have those games anymore.
We don't?
No, we don't.
I thought we had a pregame show. I thought that there was something on there talking about that.
Wasn't us. Wasn't us doing
No,
that.
I was on the fan, Coach. Maybe, I don't know what I was. Okay. I thought there was some sort of pregame that I was apparently listening to.
Maybe you were just watching Apple TV Plus.
I wasn't watching anything. I had the radio on in the shower.
So we get into the game last night, right before halftime. The crew had dominated possession. It was like 75-25 at the beginning of the first half. And then they really put the clamps down. I mean, LAFC was chasing us around like crazy. We were holding on the ball. Just really not that sharp, like kind of in the finishing area, the final third, Bob. But then right before halftime, Mo Farsi gets a ball played right to him. A little dipsy-do on a defender. Excuse me, ball gets played out. Back to Mo Farsi, throws it up into the box. Cucho, who is all of 5'9", dunks over a defender. It's 1-0 heading into the half. Olivier Giroud, who is France's all-time leading goal scorer, scores for LAFC off a corner kick, off a header. It's 1-1. Then it got a little weird because then LAFC started showing their teeth a little bit, which they're obviously very good, but they're not quite to the standard of the crew. Bob, we get to the 92nd minute. Cucho throws a ball in, which looked to be a cross. Nobody gets a head on it. Nobody touches it. Ball bounces right in front of the goalie. It's 2-1. That's a game winner. Chucks his shirt into the stands. Luckily, somebody gave it back to him. And then literally 90 seconds after that, they're on a fast break the other way to make it to 3-1. But again, we talked about at the beginning of the season how this team is now in like trophy hoarding mode. You didn't get things.
Trophy hoarding mode.
Yeah, you want to hoard all that you can get. You didn't get CONCACAF Champions Cup done. Food poisoning. But you got this done. That's another trophy. You have Campeones Cup, which is us against Club America, which is League MX winner against MLS Cup champion. And then you got the playoffs to go. I mean, you got 11 games left to go in the regular season. But, I mean, I'm seeing all MLS reporters and everything, like, they're saying this is the best. This is the best MLS team that has ever been in the league. This is the best team ever. The Crew. Although on the broadcast last night, they're like, LAFC is going to start the charge now and take over the Crew's reign. I'm like, yeah, well, we beat you 5-1 at your place, beat you 2-1 in MLS Cup final, and now we beat you 3-1. So have fun the rest of the year knowing that you can't beat us.
It's been great. It's been fun to watch. So hopefully it'll continue like that, and the push will continue, maybe back-to-back beam. That could be in the future.
Absolutely, man. So they got Philly coming up on Wednesday in Philly, which is always a weird place to go. And I don't know who's going to play as far as it goes, the starters, because these guys have played a lot of games in a very few amount of days. So I don't know what the lineup's going to be. And then you were back at home for a couple of straight home games starting this weekend. So all kinds of good stuff for the Crew. Another trophy added to the trophy cabinet as they are procuring some at a pretty rapid rate. First MLS American-based team to play in 3 Cup finals in 9 months. So very, very good job out of them. Death Star in full effect last night. It was awesome to see. Joshua Perry, he joins us. We'll break down week 1 in college football with him coming up next. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and good morning. Watch for crews clearing up a crash on I-70 westbound right around James Road. Expect to be slow moving going westbound over there as you approach the 70-33 split. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
It's the summer sell down at Performance. Get up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 24 Jeep Wranglers and Grand Cherokees during the Make This the Summer of Jeep event. Performance, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Georgesville, and Delaware.
Not valid on previous sales. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock 8/20 to 8/31/24.
Direct auto insurance is for uncompromisers. Like Matt. When his old car insurance got so expensive, do you think he walked until his sneakers wore out? No, because he found savings with Direct Auto so he could drive instead of compromise. With savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, you too can stop compromising and keep driving. Get a free quote at directauto.com or a store near you. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Pop quiz. What's the best way to go back to school? With Giant Eagle and Market District, of course. From lunchbox favorites to fun after-school snacks. Shop deals for school days and save on thousands of items throughout the store. Visit your local Giant Eagle or Market District today.
Tire Discounters announces our latest breakthrough, TD Chat BS. This software allows us to detect untruths, deceptions, and even outright lies.
Let's listen in as we call a local car dealer.
Hi, I drive your model of auto or truck. I need servicing.
Oh, that's great. You should always call the dealer for service to make sure your warranty stays intact.
Untruth.
Excuse me?
I can attend at Tire Discounters for all services, even for all manufacturers' scheduled maintenance. Warranty not affected.
But it's only us dealers who really know our own models.
Deception. Tire Discounters ASE technicians are certified experts for all makes and models.
Okay, maybe.
How many dollars do you charge me for? As few as Tire Discounters?
We are not that much more.
Outright lie. Ending call now. Bye. Adios. Aloha. Hasta la pasta.
Don't miss our Savor the Summer sale, now till Labor Day.
The Buckeye Show.
Jim Lachey back in the day just pointing.
We going right here, and it's not a dang thing you can do about it.
The Buckeye Show.
Presented by Coors Light and sponsored by CareSource.
Weeknights at 6 on The Fan.
Ohio, ready for some quick mental health facts? Let's go. Nearly 2 million Ohioans live with a mental health condition. In the U.S., more than 50% of people will be diagnosed with a mental illness in their lifetime. Depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide. So why are some of us still stigmatizing people living with a mental health condition when we know all of this? Let's listen to the facts and beat the stigma. Ohio, challenge what you know about mental health at beatthestigma.org.
We're dealing at Reichert Nissan. Hundreds of Nissans in stock, on the ground, and priced to sell fast. Low lease payments on brand new Reichert Nissan Sentras, only $219 a month. Now we're really dealing. With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Visit the Reichert Mega Mall off 270 and 33, or shop thousands of new and certified used at ReichertNissan.com.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
With approved credit, 2024 Sentra SV FWD 36-month lease with $3,000 due at signing. Offer ends 9/3/24.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
When your job demands more than just hard work, trust Timberland Pro, the brand that defines superior comfort, performance, and durability. Built on a legacy of craftsmanship, Timberland Pro provides boots and apparel that stand up to the toughest challenges. Our products are as resilient as the skilled men and women who wear them. From the workshop to the job site, Timberland Pro is there with you every step of the way, blending innovation with time-tested quality. Discover why professionals choose Timberland Pro. Always do, never done. Visit timberlandpro.com or your local Timberland Pro dealer.
Morning Juice is sponsored by Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. FeelGreatColumbus.com. The Fan.
In high school, Bobby was a district swimming finalist. Also, Beamer still wears floaties. This is Morning Juice.
Monday edition of the program. Brandon Beam, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark. Right now, we head out to the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Check with our great friend. He is Joshua Perry. JP, happy football season, buddy. What's going on?
How we doing, guys? It's a great week. It's game week. How about the week 0 action we saw? That was fantastic. I'm just super excited. Back in my element.
Absolutely, man. I mean, you had Georgia Tech not only taking Florida State down to the wire, but beating them as the game ends. SMU had a little bit of trouble. Hawaii, if you were a real sicko at midnight on Saturday night, not putting Delaware State away early. It's 35-14, I think, the final in that one. It just felt great, JP, to have college football back on our TV screens. Did it not?
No, it really did. And I think the chaos that we saw in week 0 was kind of the thing that got us all excited because, it's kind of blown up on social media like Sickos Committee and just all the meme-worthy moments that come from college football. And we got them early. We got to see some of the things that we love, the bad tackling, the poor clock management, the quarterbacks who cannot throw the football. And this was fun for us. And so it was great. But Florida State fans, man, they are down bad right now. They spent that whole offseason crying, talking about all the revenge that they were going to get. And then they go overseas and look like Nebraska. It's a bad deal.
Oh, it was a very, very bad deal. I mean, does this, in your mind, kill the ACC's chances of getting a second team in?
I don't think so. This is the good thing about the 12-team playoff is, you got that wiggle room. Now, if you're Florida State, you got to just go ahead and run the table on the rest of your schedule. They've got Notre Dame on the road, I believe, so that's going to be a really tough one for them to get. People have high expectations for Notre Dame. I think if that second loss happens, it's going to be a lot tougher for the ACC to get that second team in. But I think everything's on the table right now because of the 12-team playoff.
Joshua, when we start to look at week number 1, what piques your interest the most and what is a pretty solid slate to start off, starting on Thursday night, too? We got a bunch of games on Thursday, got a couple on Friday, obviously full slate on Saturday. But to you, what are you going to be watching the most here as we get underway in week 1?
All right, I'll give you the one that's kind of early and then one that's kind of happening later on. But Colorado, North Dakota State is an interesting one for me. We're talking about one of the best FCS programs. I really don't know how much better Colorado actually got this offseason, but it felt like there were storylines everywhere. And so I think early on this could be like an interesting measuring stick for how much hype we're going to put around Prime and the Colorado program. That's happening on Thursday. Super excited to watch that one. The other one that has been super intriguing to me is USC and LSU playing on neutral site in Vegas. This is a game that USC didn't necessarily want to play, and I think Lincoln Riley spent the last couple of years trying to get out of it. But I think these programs mirror each other a ton. You've got two programs that had Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks that were first-round picks that are being replaced right now. You try to figure out if they got a guy, and I think both teams like the guy that they have. Miller Moss for USC, Garrett Nussmeier for LSU. Two teams that have new defensive coordinators as well, and they were bad defenses a year ago. Like LSU had a lot of trouble stopping people in the SEC, and we know USC's defense has been like. And I think there are two teams that are trying to really cement a turnaround. on that side of the football. So I'm excited to watch them. It's going to be an intriguing one. It's a neutral site game. Big matchup early on. Going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And I know you'll be on the NBC desk here this weekend, as you will every Saturday night, as we talk to Joshua Perry here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. I know it's early in the week, but, Irish and A&M going off down south. I mean, A&M favored by 3. Any worry there that Notre Dame won't be able to pull this out?
Yeah, I think there should be worry. People have said College Station is one of the great environments there. I've never taken it in person, but we've all seen on TV what that environment's like. So I think that plays a factor into it. Mike Elko is in year 1 at Texas A&M, and Riley Leonard is the new quarterback for Notre Dame. Those two guys are very familiar with one another. Elko, a defensive-minded guy. The thing that intrigues me about that is I think that he understands all the pain points of his quarterback because he tried to coach him out of them while they were both at Duke, and now he knows where to attack. And Riley Leonard's a guy who's been injury-prone, not necessarily known as the greatest thrower of the ball. He's got good movement skill, so I'm curious what the plan of attack is there. And then for A&M, they've got this kid, Nick Scorton, who actually transferred from Purdue. Had a hell of a year last year. He had 10 sacks, I think 15 TFLs, a couple forced fumbles, some batted balls. And Notre Dame's dealing with injuries on the offensive line at the left tackle spot. Like there are a lot of pitfalls here, I think, for the Fighting Irish. They've got a roster that people really believe in. I love Marcus Freeman. I think he's really learning how to become a good head coach, but that is a tough first game.
Hey, JP, 3:30 Saturday here at Ohio Stadium. Buckeyes and Zips of Akron going to tussle. What would be your goal for week number 1? I mean, obviously heavy favorites in this game. I think it's 49.5 to Ohio State. If you're playing on this team, what's your goal for this week?
Yeah, it's always interesting because I don't think that you can judge these games by covering the spread or like blowing a team out. It's what the expectation is. I think it has to hit certain standards. And this is from Urban Meyer. It's not something I came up with, but I think it's a really good way to judge some of these matchups early on. He always talked about unit strength. He wanted to be 9 units strong, right? So, like, if you go out and let's say the offensive line or the linebackers or whoever, they don't grade out as champions in a game like this, then that's a problem. Like, even if you do end up winning the game by 50 points, it's a problem because you should have championship-level performances from your units in a game like this. I don't want to see the procedure penalties, pre-snap issues. I don't want to see communication issues on offense or defense, especially with helmet comms now trying to get the play in. You want to make sure all those things are clean. So it's not just about how much you can win a game like this by. It's about the way that it looks from an operation standpoint, from a crispness standpoint, and ultimately you want all of your units to be able to grade out as champions.
Absolutely, you do, and that's a big piece of the behavior. See, Joshua's either taught or allowed. Anything that you think going into the game week that change, like what? Not anything, but what changes as they go from camp now into game week with the preparation and everything else? Is there a mentality flip? You get to practice here on Monday, and it's a different feeling than it was on Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, it's an urgency, right? Like, it's a seriousness that comes with game week. In training camp, when the coaches call for a redo, bingo, whatever they call it, where you got to run the play over again, it's training camp, and you expect guys to make mistakes, and you build in the time during practice to be able to do that and then to teach and to learn. Once you get into game week, the tolerance for that kind of stuff goes down, right? Like, practice has to be a certain way in terms of your mental sharpness and how many mistakes are made, especially once you get later in the week. For everybody in training camp, right, like most of the time is I'm trying to compete for a spot. We're practicing, like we're running our stuff, and we're trying to be the best that we can. Well, now you got a scout team that's out there too. And that's a job that's super underrated because those guys have to go out there and execute in a way that gets you prepared for game day. And against Akron, maybe not as big of a deal, but once you get into the Big Ten schedule, scout team's got to be on point too. So everybody's got to be urgent. The mental errors have to go away. You have to be locked into whatever the game plan is, and you need guys to execute day in and day out in their preparation so they can execute on game day.
Which Big Ten team should be on bigger alert this week? Penn State heading down to Morgantown and playing West Virginia, or Michigan taking on a pretty good Fresno State program?
This Michigan-Fresno State one is the game that we have on NBC. Pretty excited about it because Fresno State's an underrated program. I think the quarterback play for them is pretty good. They've got some returning skill, which I think is going to be a challenge. Michigan's defense is really good. Fresno State on defense, they've struggled. Michigan's offense, a little bit 50-50, depending on what you think it's going to be. I think that Michigan should win this one. For Penn State, Morgantown, great environment. The game that they had last year was closer than the final score looked. I think Penn State scored in the last 6 seconds of that game to cover the spread. We had that one last year on NBC as well. And those guys from West Virginia feel all the disrespect. Like, their players are talking about it in the media, and I just don't think it's a game that Penn State's going to be able to dominate easily. I've got questions about them on offense in particular with Drew Allen. Their wide receivers are not good. It's a little bit of a tricky one for them to start with.
Buddy, always appreciate the time. Thanks for hopping on with us here this morning. Have a fantastic week 1, and we'll check in again next Monday at the same time, all right?
All right, appreciate you guys. Take care.
There he goes, Joshua Perry with us here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We're going to reveal our fan poll coming up next. Morning Juice right here on the Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Good morning. We are still watching a small crash over on I-70 westbound right at the 3370 split. Watch for the right shoulder slightly blocked off over there as crews work to clear that up. I'm 10 TV's Amy Stuggerwald with your fan traffic.
It's Toyota's National Sales Event. The perfect time to extend your summer fun in the all-new, all-hybrid Camry. Now through September 3rd, choose 5.25 APR financing on any new 2025 Camry. Or you can lease a Camry LE for $319 a month for 36 months with $32.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Delaware County Veterans Services invites you to visit the Wall That Heals from September 12th through the 15th at Havner Park in Liberty Township. Pay homage to those that have served in the Vietnam War. The Wall That Heals is free and open to the public. To learn more, please visit thewallthathealsohio.com.
Bob's Discount Furniture is coming to Polaris, and Bob's Discount Furniture wants you to win big this football season. It's easy. Get online and go to 971thefan.com to register to win a $1,000 gift card to Bob's Discount Furniture, so you can watch your favorite football team sitting in your new Bob's recliner or couch this season. Wow. That's $1,000 from Bob's Discount Furniture. All you have to do is register to win on the fans contest page at 971thefan.com. Hurry, contest ends Wednesday, August 28th. See complete contest details online at 971thefan.com.
At Kroger Pharmacy, CARE is making it easy to get vaccinated. CARE is helping you stay protected from flu, COVID, and RSV. Seasonal vaccines are available 7 days a week with evening hours. CARE is giving you a shot at staying healthy this season. Walk in whenever is best and get multiple vaccines in one visit at your local Kroger Pharmacy. So come and get the protection you need while protecting those around you. Kroger Health, a world of care is in store. Visit Kroger.com/vaccines for more. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See site for details.
We're dealing at Reichert Ford.
$2,500 low price guarantee.
With our lowest prices and 72-hour exchange policy, you can't buy the wrong car. Thousands of vehicles are waiting at ReichertFord.com.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
Football season is here, and we have so much stuff. One station isn't enough. Find even more pigskin on ESPN Columbus.
Set your second preset to AM 1460 or 97.1 FM HD2, or listen on the Fan app.
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
The Columbus Men's Clinic opened in 2014 for guys who get it done. Let's talk, fellas. You solve problems all day at work. You fix your sink when it's broken. But when it comes to ED and low T, it doesn't get done. We get it. You hate going to the doctor, but you're the guy that fixes things. At the Columbus Men's Clinic, there's nothing to fear and no reason to delay. We've been destroying bedroom boredom for a decade. So if you haven't fixed this, call us. When the pills fail, call us. If you feel like you've tried everything, call us. Here, there's hope. From the conventional to the next level. You'll be seen by our friendly, discreet physician who will take the time to listen. Imagine finally taking care of this with no surgery. Imagine going from feeling gray to living life in vibrant color. It's time to be confident. Join the thousands of guys who have found success after walking through our doors. Will you be one of them? Dial 614-300-7400 or go to ColumbusMen'sClinic.com to schedule a $99 male performance consultation, including blood work. Do it for you. Do it for her. ColumbusMen'sClinic.com. Book your appointment now.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Skies are clear and sunny today. We're starting off on the mild side. Temperatures in the 60s this morning. We'll see highs this afternoon reach the 90s once again. Back to 95 today for your high. Make sure you pack some extra water. It's going to be feeling more like 97 through the afternoon. I'm meteorologist Madison Reich with your weather impact forecast on The Fan.
Saturday is game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Reichert Ford.
Every game, every season, you're home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. One of these guys thinks Clintonville was named after Bill Clinton. You're listening to Morning Juice.
Wrapping things up here, Monday edition of the program. Brandon Bean, Bobby Carpenter, Mark the Shark, and we here on the Juice are brought to you by our great friends over at Affinity Whole Health, the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy. You can, of course, visit them on the line at feelgreatcolumbus.com. Uncle Bo and the boys, they're up next. They will be joined by Austin Ward coming up here at 10:33. Also talking a little Crew, adding another trophy to the trophy cabinet, Bob. 3-1 victors over LAFC last night. I'm just so glad that they won that because you
like the fun and the drama, Beam.
No,
you come for both.
The amount of talking about LAFC and how here they're there to stake their claim to be the best American soccer team in MLS and the best team on this continent, and we're going to go out and get Olivier Giroud, and after the Crew beat us, we're going to take revenge, and all these different things that were coming out, especially their coach, Steve Cherundolo. It's like, yeah, we feel like we're the better team. I mean, they're not really a team full of superstars like we are. It's like, man, get bent. Like, watch this. And just 3-1 winners last night.
We got the man.
Yeah, and we get the hardware. I mean, Cucho is just... It's just fun to have. It's just nice to have. He's like a nice, warm security blanket.
Oh, yeah. He gets it done for you. Even when he's not trying to score, he still
There was
scores.
a time in the game, and I think it was in the first half, and it got a little chippy at times. I mean, there was a foul. Rudy Camacho threw a foul in, got a yellow card in like the 9th minute of the game. And I want to say it was in like the middle 15 minutes maybe, so like somewhere between like the 20th and 30th minute. And one of the players for LA went in, bad tackle on Cucho. Then again, like 20 seconds later, threw him out of bounds. Cucho, you could tell, was pretty fired up. I mean, he's yelling at him in Spanish. I don't know what he's saying. He's pointing at him, and he is jawing back and forth. Mayor's watching the game, and she's like, I think he's going to score a goal. And like 10 minutes later, there you go, header. He's going crazy. And then, of course, he had to get the winner, too, right? That goal, which is first of all, it's terrible keeping by Hugo Lloris. Like, if you're an LAFC fan, you're probably sick about that. If you're a Crew fan, he's just a wizard. He's a witch, and it's great to have him. I've been doing some thinking, and I think I'm willing to say that Cucho, for me, Bobby, and you'd have to ask Bone and people who have been watching this team longer than I have, but for me, I think Cucho's the best player to ever play for the Crew.
Well,
it's the best era.
I'm giving you a topic for Bone and Beam United.
It's the best era that you've had in the team's history, the most successful era that you've had. I know 2008, 2009 were good. Obviously won a couple of cups before this, 2020, but I just think if these are the golden days that you're living in with the Crew, and he is the best player on this best team, then I have no other reason not to say that he's probably the best player in franchise history.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, he has been the most impactful on teams that have been wildly successful. So I can't disagree with you. That's why I was asking. Like,
it's a good
question.
That's
the answer.
Yeah.
But he hasn't had a crazy long tenure here. It's been, 3 seasons?
Yeah.
This is his third?
Mm-hmm.
And,
2.5, really.
Yeah, when you look at all the cups and everything, I mean, if they were to somehow able to hang another banner this year, like, I don't know if there's really a debate, even though it's a pretty concentrated sample size.
Yeah, I'm with you. Maybe that'll be the fan poll for tomorrow, Shark. Where do you rank Cucho Hernandez for the
I didn't even know he had a last name. Hernandez is his last name?
Yeah, his first name is Juan.
What's Cucho?
It's just a nickname.
Oh, I thought that was his name. I thought he was like Pele
that's just a nickname.
or Oprah or Maradona. Cher.
Brazilian Fred.
I mean, that's what I thought, like Cucho was just his name. Is that not? I thought that was a thing. Like Kaká, like all these, dudes have just one name. I don't know how that works. Like McLovin. I mean,
just McLovin Cucho.
Yeah,
that's just what it says in his ID.
I've never heard anybody call him anything but that. You just slid that Hernandez in there like it's always something you always say. This is the first time I've ever heard you tell me that.
Yeah, no, Cucho. His last name is Hernandez. You're right. Here was him.
His first name isn't even Cucho.
No, it's Juan. Yeah, his first name is Juan.
Hernandez does not sound like a star.
Cucho does. He's got a neck tat, which looks amazing.
Of course he does.
And he's bleach blonde, which is even better. Just lean into it. That platinum hair is sweet. Here was Cucho just talking about the go-ahead goal in the 92nd minute last night.
No words. To be honest, it was amazing moment for me, for the fans, for the team. Was amazing moment, and we are so happy. We are enjoying a lot this moment. We deserve it. We did a great League Cup, and this keep. We have another final next month. We want to win it.
He's great. Love that guy. Absolutely love that guy. I got to get a jersey. We're going to get a jersey of Cucho. Before we get out of here today, our fan poll at 971thefan.com or on Twitter at 971thefan. Will Ohio State, in the football season of the 2024 Buckeyes, have more touchdowns passing or rushing the football? There have been over 400 votes in this thing, as it hasn't been up for a long time. And we got the idea from Josh from 11 Warriors, who was doing season over-unders for Ohio State. And the over-under that he put on the Buckeyes rushing touchdowns for this season was 38.5. Last year, they were tied for right smack dab in the middle of the country, was 62nd. In 2022, they had 30. In 2021, they had 24. In 2020, they had 19. Back in 2019, Bob, they had 39 rushing touchdowns. That was good for sixth in the country.
That was JK.
That was JK, and Justin, I think, added 10 that year as well. Passing touchdowns, Ohio State last year had 26. That was tied for 31st in the country. In 2022, they had 42. 2021, 46. 2020, shortened season, they had 22. And then back in 2019, they had 48. The over-under that has been set from Josh from 11 Warriors for passing touchdowns is 33.5. Now, will the 2024 iteration of the Buckeyes have more rushing or more passing touchdowns this season?
Gosh, I mean, depends how much you're in the red zone versus long balls and everything else. I'm inclined to say rushing touchdowns, but I don't feel great about it at this point.
But do you feel good about both of them?
I do feel
that
good.
The number will be high.
I think it's going to be a fairly significant number. The one thing that you do have to take into account, though, is the new time rules. They may play a slower tempo of game. I don't know how many, like Michigan State, was that 2 years ago, where they scored 7 touchdowns in the first half?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how many more of those you'll see.
49-0 at halftime.
That was good.
I'm going to say rushing. I'll say rushing touchdowns this year by a slight margin, maybe by a couple. Bob, I had so much fun today. What do you say we reconvene on a Tuesday if they allow us? You good with that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Everybody, have a fantastic day. Uncle Bo and the boys.
Uncle and the Bo
and the Friend Zone. They're up next. We're back live tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Everybody have a fantastic day. Talk to you tomorrow. Morning Juice right here on The Fan.
Fan traffic.
From the Atlas Butler Plumbing Services Traffic Center.
Hey there, and happy Monday right now. Watch for crews clearing up a crash on I-70 westbound. The right shoulder slightly blocked off right near the 70-33 split from a crash earlier this morning. I'm 10 TV's Amy Steigerwald with your fan traffic.
This is a fan action update.
The Buckeyes are a 50.5-point favorite over Akron on Saturday with an over-under of 58.5 points. In other Big Ten Week 1 action this weekend, Michigan is a 21.5-point favorite over Fresno State on Saturday night. Penn State's an 8.5-point favorite over West Virginia. And next Monday, USC is a 4.5-point underdog against LSU. For your action update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
Hey, Bobby Carpenter here for my friends at Affinity Whole Health. Affinity is the leader in testosterone and hormone replacement therapy, but they are also much more than that. They help men and women who are experiencing things like low energy, low libido, muscle loss, and weight gain. Turn it all around. You can feel amazing and live better just like I can. It can be delivered right to your door, which is tremendous. Semaglutide for weight loss and testosterone and hormone replacement therapy for so much more. I've been a customer for years and it works. Get started at feelgreatcolumbus.com.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious. That's you stepping up to the plate. That's you winning your kickball game.
Yes! That's good!
That's you taking another sip of your Do the Do.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Summer may be slowing down, but the deals at Vivid Seats haven't. Whether it's scoring MLB tickets for a night at the ballpark or locking down the biggest matchups for the upcoming football season, Vivid Seats has you covered. With the only rewards program in the game, plus an amazing selection of tickets, Vivid Seats has something for every fan. Catch the deals you want for the games you crave, all backed by a 100% buyer guarantee. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Step into the batter's box for BetMGM's Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. Pick an area of the strike zone and take your best swing. If you get a single, double, triple, or home run, you'll receive a prize. Smash a home run to collect a bonus bet on us. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to gamble responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. This U.S. promotional offer not available in Mississippi, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. For New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. For Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. For Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. For Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. For Puerto Rico, 1-800-911-0023. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary depending on market. Expired 24 hours from issuance. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.